Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Use Witsit, gets it, step into the mic, bro. Talking flat earth, get ready for the hype, bro. Ace algebra in school, honors too, bro. Gravity's a lie, yeah, I'm in the zone, bro. Electrostatics, that's the real deal, bro. They say the earth's a globe, but that ain't right, bro. I'm the best flat earth debater, bro. Humbly, opposition ain't on my level, but let's not get too technical, bro. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm
fooling you, bro.
You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. Our model, though not defined in full, bro, is superior. Your model's falsified, bro. Van de Graaff generator, electrostatics a maze, bro. May objects change weight, just a phase, bro. 100 volts per meter electric field, you know, bro. Flipped it with 400,000 volts, whoa. Small bits loaded, defying gravity like totally, bro. Next I'll rub a cat to a brick the show, bro. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro.
So crushed!
You're really losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. MC Tune and Globers, you can't deny, bro. Witsit gets it's here to testify, bro. Most times I don't remember you exist, yo. I'm the flat earth king, you better believe it's so. Moon phases are like a magnetic cycle, bro. Center of a ferrocell, image magnets glow, bro. Charge up and down, etherically displaced, yo. Kinematic equivalence explains it all somehow, bro. It might sound tough, but let's skip details, yo. You might believe I have an amplitude for math, ho. It's all just a lot of salad in my words, yo. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. And what happened is they brought in Einstein to totally save the physics redefined, to flip physics all on its head, bro. To keep Earth moving around the sun, you know. And in the magnetic tourist field, I say the path of planets fits perfectly. So funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny, you're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro.
No, out of your league.
Battle, I would have totally won, bro.
Welcome to another video review. I am Max. This is Cat, also known as El Gato Asesino, the killer cat. Hopefully he doesn't attack me today. Yesterday he really freaking hurt me. I see him down here. Oh no. Oh no. No, it looks like we're good. He didn't get pissy today. Welcome everybody. Today we're doing part 2 because there's a debate on MDD, but it's another feminism debate, and with this girl Taylor. And oh my god, she's so boring. So I decided, why not do something fun? We haven't done one of these this week yet. So let's freaking go. Let's say hello to some people. Steel City, Blackburn, Big Dragon, Cola Guts, Third Ender of Reality, Lindsay. Hello everyone. Hope you're doing awesome. As you can see, it's hot as balls today, hence my tank top. And the blouse, Witsit's blouse is in the washer. So, it's actually drying. He is already fixed. Yes, he is already fixed. Oh, Dragon Sword says, waka waka waka. You know what that means.
Pac-Man, waka 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 waka.
Indeed. All right, let me get you the link. I'll put it on there if anyone wants to come and hang out and we can laugh at Witsit. Feel free to do so. There you go. All right, let's jump right in and remove that at that. There we go. And this is where we left off on the previous episode.
Substance, as Tesla called it. It's where everything comes from.
Mhm.
I can't imagine something being more important than that, right? But it all comes down to the same thing. It's materialism. So like if there is an ether, well then where's it at? Okay, well it's not here perceivably. So then it's outside the material world.
Then how does it interact? Oh, shoot. So hold on. Let me remove the. Oh, let's. Bro counter. Does anyone remember where the bro counter was? Where we left the bro counter? Oh, I didn't turn on the thing. Let's just ignore it for today.
So there, and we now something's outside of it. Obviously, there's like 1,000 ways to prove that anyway. Like, what is consciousness? What are memories? What are intuition? What is that? What's the ontological premise that you even?
Oh my fucking god! None of that proves the ether, you moron. Consciousness, it's something the brain does. Thought, another thing the brain does. Memories, another thing the brain does. Drive a spike into your brain, and all of that stops, and you can't prove otherwise.
Had that question with like the prerequisite to even use logic and reason is that the metaphysical exists.
Oh, for fuck's sake. No, it's not. Dumbass. I can just do the opposite. I can just say that the prerequisite to use logic and reasoning is that there is no God, and we have absolutely equal value claims. Both unfalsifiable, both just stupid.
But this is way more in your face.
Isn't that wild that like to use logic at all, it requires circular reasoning at its like foundation?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
What? No, it doesn't. This is because you are trying to run the presuppositionalist script, which, I mean, it is just a baseless assertion, but it's not circular reasoning, Dumbo.
wild to sit with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it requires that you believe that you can derive truths about this realm using logic.
Correct. Yeah.
What if nature's intelligence could directly influence your physiology, helping to regulate your nervous system,
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is product placement, right?
sharpen your intuition, and shift your emotional state in a measurable way? For over 25 fusions that have to work on a body,
no.
4 of the powerful flower mists through placebo, I think flower essence package up things your body. So if you want to find which ones match your code, ALEC 10 ongoing savings, sway.full energetic. Oh, I'm here with Melissa Kupch from Melissa on the Venture.
The fuck is this?
Anxiety field. We've got 5 lectures.
Just from the ads that they're running, you know that all of this is just bullshit.
We have X-Men.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What the hell is this? Oh, finally.
Technology stuff, because it's just so fascinating how you explain it, and it just makes
Buck Slotbuster for $5 says, "Hey Max, hello, Buck. If you want to hang out, the link is right there. You can come along and we can laugh at Witsit together. Thank you so much for that."
so much sense to me. And I would like to talk about, because you already touched on it a little bit, like the ontology of it, like what is, but like when it comes to things that are inherently metaphysical, that mainstream science would admit right now that we don't have the proper instrumentation to prove the existence of. This is a
Oh my God, you're claiming it's outside of the material world. You will never be able to even probe it. How would that even work? Like, what the fuck? Blackburn Big Dragon says it's the grifting. It's the true reason this guy has that interview channel. Oh yeah.
Whole like another topic, but I talk about it a lot. Like I talk about the ether, I talk about the human biofield literally all the time, right? Like all the time, the toroidal
Another grifter.
field that surrounds the human body. And like I think if
Karen's B and Ken Bush says, is that his older brother? They do seem to be cut from the same cloth. Yes. From the same cloth of stupid.
there is an etheric field, it's also a toroidal field, right? That's surrounding this realm. And it's like a piece of me knowing.
Oh my God. Oh my. What do you mean? Do you mean the flat earth, right?
Like proof of a claim regarding a physical thing being the cause for another thing. It's like, can we say with any level of certainty, and I think about this for myself too, that thing actually exists, you know?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Yeah. So this is like, so with ether in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a logical premise.
No, it's an illogical premise. You have no evidence for that.
Right. So it's like the ontological premise is logical. So meaning it's not physical.
Mhm.
Because really, if you step back, it's like, well, I mean, there are some physical things that point to an ether, but like, it's not like I can bottle it up. I can't
No.
manipulate it. It's nothing like that. It's not even.
Oh, so it's not science, right, Witsit? I wish I had Toon's audio clip on that. Do they just like the word toroidal? I guess because it makes them sound. If you ask like a layman person on the street, what's a toroid shape? They wouldn't really know. So yeah, it's that. And Lindsay, this is post TFE. This is from 8 months ago, May 28, 2025.
Empirical. So
Right. And that would be inferred. That would be secondary and tertiary. That wouldn't be direct evidence
correct.
of it.
And it's like the main thing that
Yeah.
we're, honing in on to disprove everything else. So
Right.
like but it's logical. It's it's antecedent relationship. So, and there's
No, that's called presuppositionalism, and we just until you can give evidence for it, it's rejected, dummy.
many different ways to do this, but it's like the simple question of what exists outside the material world would be the first question. And then
Nothing. This is all there is with it. There's nothing else. And even, let me grant it to you for just a second. Even if it was, we have no way of accessing it. So why should one even care? And how would something that is outside of the material world, the thing that facilitates interactions between stuff, then it couldn't interact with anything. So what's the point? There is no point. It's just so you can feel special. But you're not.
you can boil it down to a true dichotomy of something or nothing. Right. That's it. I mean, there's no viable third option. So that's a true dichotomy. Nothing doesn't exist.
For fuck's sake. Word games. That's all you play. Yeah, nothing doesn't exist because all there is this. So we don't need anything else outside of what is. Because what's outside of what is just isn't. What's it, you dumbass?
So like, your intuitive response to that, I mean, wouldn't that be infinite regression? Because then you could always say, what's outside that? What's outside that? It's like, well, no, because the outside of is based on this material confinement. We can touch, measure, all that.
Right.
There is no Cartesian, meaning like no measurements outside of the physical. We measure things because there is a physical, tangible material, like a parameter.
Yeah, like the curvature of the earth, dummy.
To physically measure things. Anyway, so it's actually not an infinite regression.
And again, there is nothing forbidding an infinite regression. Nothing. Completely nothing. You just don't like it, and no one cares.
Which is the only critique that could be had there. Nothing doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist.
Mhm.
Like, it's called a privation. We use this concept a lot to compare against. So zero, nothingness, like a shadow is the absence of light. So shadows don't exist. It's dependent upon.
Oh my fucking god. If you haven't seen it, Peter Markley made a great video on how shadows refract.
On the existence of something else. It's called a privation. Same thing like with space. Space is nothing. It's the.
Oh my god. No, it's not nothing. It's space. That's a thing. There's no matter in it, but you have to traverse a distance through it. Oh my god. Oh, he does look like he is on Between Two Ferns.
Emptiness, right? It's the absence of anything in it. That's why you always say it's in space, and then they just try to measure the volume or whatever. So the point is, what's outside the material world, something or nothing, has to be something. So I don't care what you call it.
Baseless assertion. Completely baseless assertion.
I call it ether. You can call
Devin, Satanist, says, so now he believes in space. He's a walking contradiction, so I wouldn't say yes, but in a sense, a little bit, yeah. But in the chat, yellow.
whatever you want, right? So there's logically there's something there. Not to mention that we just have like overwhelming amount of phenomena that can't be explained within the material realm, and you listed them off earlier. There's tons of them.
That was.
Oh yeah, wait. The guy was talking about like astral projection and some stuff, like complete bullshit.
Not an exhaustive list, by the way. That
No,
was like
no,
a very, very,
like,
very,
exactly,
very tiny list.
Exactly. But it's endless. How many things? Another one is actually looking at the study of physics. So if you have what people call a vacuum chamber, right? It's vacuum's also a concept. The idea of emptiness doesn't actually exist, no such thing. But
motherfucker, you can buy a vacuum chamber on Amazon. What the fuck are you talking about?
we do have the ability to kind of measure gas pressure. And of course, that's the area, that's like the pressure pressing against the walls of a container.
Witsit, where is the container between the bottom of Mount Everest at one atmospheric pressure, and the top 0.3 atmospheres of pressure? Where is the container dividing that huge difference in pressure with it? Where?
But so we know there's really low pressure in a vacuum chamber. So we shoot light in there and the light is waving, right? So I say shoot, but it doesn't matter. You turn on a
Oh, for fuck's sake, he's going to do a light doesn't travel thing.
Laser. You see light waves.
You don't see the waves, you dumb fuck.
And it's like, okay, let's think about the antecedent of that. What's the antecedent of a wave, right? So this is.
Oh my God, he's going to say a medium. He's going to say that for something to wave, you need a medium, but you're thinking about this all wrong. Like all wrong.
Because people always say wave like it's a noun. They say, and people make fun of me for this because I don't seem to understand the profundity of it, which is that like waves a verb, not a noun. And that's actually pretty profound to think about. It's an action. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have waves in the water, sure, we say, look, there's a wave, but really that's just water moving. It's waving, right? If you can't name one exception. Everything that we
light. What a dumbass. That is a great question. Grammar rules apply to physics, I guess. In his mind, in his dumb mind. I can't stand how he keeps saying we like he is part of the scientific community. I'm feeling generous, so I'm throwing out. Now it's not wrenches anymore. Now it's shields. I like that. Ooh, Billy, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Max? How's
I'm
everybody doing?
fantastic. I'm doing great. How's the winter treating you? Is it cold? Is it too cold?
Well, the snow stopped. Yeah, it was like minus
Nice.
24 the other day. I didn't even go
Oh
outside
my
that
god!
day.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
No, please no. I'm my palms are sweating just thinking of it.
Yeah.
Call a wave, it's actually has a medium that's moving. In every example, you wave your towel to get the sand off of it, whatever it is. Whatever is waving, it has a medium. Light waves. So then it's like, what is it? What's waving? What's waving when we see the light?
Yeah, light also behaves like a particle. And I don't have the link handy, but I saw on YouTube that they were able to measure the force that a very powerful laser exerts on like a plate. So they shot a very powerful laser into the plate and they measured a push on the plate, a force.
Wave. That the objective antecedent to it is a medium. Something.
Remember, every time Witsit says objectively, he's lying.
Has to be moving. So that's it. I mean, like the fact that it moves as a wave means that there's a medium that's waving. And so it's an antecedent, right? It's a logical antecedent. So no, you can't physically, empirically prove it. You can.
Right. So it's a magical medium that the light goes through. Huh? Isn't that weird? But with it, you can do a vacuum chamber and shine a light through it, and the light will travel through the vacuum, right? But according to your dumb idea, there should be the ether inside of the box. But then that contradicts the fact that you said that it's not in the material world, that it's outside of the material world. So how can you have something that's outside of the material world inside of a box, you dumb fuck?
Logically proven, right? And that's why I so confidently assert the ether, because like you said, I mean, if you don't,
except when you talk to Oakley and you shit your pants because Oakley yells at you, "That's not science!"
If you're not able to elucidate that, or at least you don't present that as evidence, you're doing the very thing that we speak out against. But yeah, I mean, and by the way, we use logic to prove lots of things. Like how do you prove the existence of any type of designer or designing intelligence? Well, you can by looking at natural law. You can prove that there has to be a creator.
Again, another presupposition. Yeah, it doesn't have lips. Yes. What's it? That's another presupposition. You're not proving anything. You know how you actually prove stuff? When you put some stuff on a petri dish and you realize that even though everything is still, the stuff inside the petri dish is moving. And then that leads you to atomic theory. Like that, you analyze the Brownian motion, and then that leads into atomic theory, which at the moment where it was thought of, they couldn't verify. But then a couple of years pass, we get better tech, and then we actually develop technology that allows us to see atoms.
Of some sort, some intelligent mind, a primary mover. And I won't break that whole thing down, but the first and second law, matter and energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He's going to special plead. Matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed, but my God created everything. You're such a derpling. And I don't remember the dates, but I think I had already cooked him on this before.
Destroyed. And so you're like, okay, what are your options there? It's like either it was always there, or it can be created or destroyed.
Right.
And if it was always there, you get to the second law, which is that entropy increases, so usable energy decreases, which means we're moving down a path where you had to start somewhere for it to decrease from.
Mhm.
So now you have a beginning. So now if you go to the first,
Or the singularity, where we have no clue what entropy does, and then you have a state that could have been however long of everything in the singularity, and then the expansion started, and that's where, when you start getting matter and energy condensed into the current forms that we have in the universe, then that's when you start needing to worry about entropy. Let me do this.
first question, it couldn't have always been there. So the only thing you're left with is something outside of the finite limit of your natural law. So supernatural did create the matter and energy. And so then you get into obviously like intent and design and all that. So the point is,
oh my God, if you're posing, you claim to be a Christian, so we're going to go with Leo says Austin wears the weirdest shirts. They're blouses. He raided his ex-wife's closet. Yes, it's a running gag with Witsit. Been for a while. What was I saying? Hold on, let me go back.
and so then you get into obviously like intent and design.
Yes. He claims to be a Christian. So you have the triune God, which is claimed to be perfect and omni in all kinds of ways. The problem is that if you have an omni like that, then why would it change status from not creating, going into the activity of creation, and then stop? So you have two status changes on a perfect being. Why? You can't explain that. Why isn't God creating all the time if it's part of his nature to create? Sorry, Billy, go.
I think he said he's a Unitarian or something the one day when I heard him, like he doesn't believe in the Trinity anymore. But I mean, he says shit all the time, so I don't know if I believe him when he says he's a Unitarian.
He's a walking contradiction, so you never know what the hell he's going to come out with next. And that's why he doesn't like when people like Daryl play the clips of him, because he doesn't have a consistent position. He will lie through his ass to whoever he has in front to try and make a point.
And all that. So the point is, logic is incredibly important for us to understand things that we can't necessarily tangibly manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're making claims about things in a tangible, that's what they do with virology. That's what they do with quantum mechanics, and
Oh, for fuck's sake! We have electron microscopes. You dumb fuck. There's a guy that survived going into a particle accelerator and got damaged, but survived the thing. There radiation, there's atomic bombs. I mean, all of these things are real. You are just dumb as fuck. And when you say, for example, and I've said this, I think I got to say this to him, that when Witsit says atoms don't exist, but then turns around and says everything is intrinsically electrostatics, bro, you're accepting that atomic theory exists. You're just too dumb to realize that you're just a walking contradiction machine.
Physics, they're making material, tangible claims that should be testable empirically. The ether is not tangible.
Right.
So
not science. So not real. Okay. I have a pink unicorn here. It's not tangible, though.
There's a couple of them. I have a list.
It's a category area, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because when we're talking about like cause and effect claims, dude, that actually that's helpful for me to hear, because I'm like, how do I speak about this in a way? But when you're talking to people who have minds.
Rich Monty says the ferns are smarter. Yes.
That presuppose that this realm is only physical, they're not going to get it anyway. They're not going to understand that. But just like you're saying,
we're not going to understand what? That you're just making claims that you have no way of proving, and that by your own admission, you could never prove them because they're outside of the world. And then you also contradict yourself because you say the ether is inside of the vacuum chamber that the light is shining through. So, yeah, I mean, we're not going to get it because it makes no fucking sense, and you're just too stupid to realize.
When it comes to claims regarding supposed physical things, then the onus is on them to prove that through empiricism. Then, of course, you can also use logic as well. But, and they don't hold weight, they don't hold up to scrutiny whatsoever. Right. And it's interesting because.
And you think that your stupid idea of the ether and what was it? Like, I don't remember if he believed in like telekinesis or like psychic powers or some bullshit like that. He said at the beginning.
Oh, I was thinking as you were saying, like,
yeah, he said about that it's like, oh yeah, psychic powers work through the ether. Like, what the fuck? Number one, psychic powers don't exist, and number two, the ether doesn't exist either.
The wave is not a noun, it is a verb, and it's like, okay, then what is doing the waving? And I'm thinking about when it comes to light, and like I'm wrestling in my head with, okay, that light, they say it's a physical thing, that there are, quote, photons of light, and always goes back to they presuppose physical things that they have not demonstrated.
Oh, for fuck's sake, again? I already made Iron Horse cry about this, you stupid morons. I'll be right back with you in a second. Light. Physical interference. No more light. Why is this happening? If light is not physical and it doesn't travel and whatever bullshit you want to spout next.
To exist. I even had someone the other day like, okay, you're saying that there's no evidence that viruses exist. Yes. And they're like, okay, well, do you say that there's no evidence of electrons? You use electricity every day, and that requires the existence of electrons. I'm like, well, first off,
Leo is right. Yes, photons were demonstrated with the photoelectric effect, for which Einstein won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Thank you so much, Leo. Yes, you're 100% correct.
No, it doesn't require the existence of electrons whatsoever. It's all based in modeling, but you can also have repeatable, observable effects that are useful that don't even require the existence of a theoretical particle like an electron. Sure. But it's the same thing with.
Okay, there's an alternative theory. We're all ears. Present it. And explain to me how we can use electron microscopes if electrons are not real. I mean, we'll wait. We have all day.
All of mainstream, quote, science is it comes back to a presupposed physical particle existing that they've not demonstrated to exist in the first place.
Yes, we have demonstrated all of this. Let me see if I can quickly find what I was talking about. Measuring the impact force of the surface. 1 second. Radiation pressure. Okay. YouTube. 1 moment. I'm trying to find this. Radiation pressure. Oh. Let's see. Okay. I'll leave the link if anyone wants to check it out. But there's a lot of videos. It's called radiation pressure, and basically means that when you shine a light on a surface, it creates a force. And yes, probably I don't know what the halo is. It's you can control some stuff with this phone. Like you can make the beam narrow or wider, or it's kind of cool. Yes. But yeah, I mean, we can measure radiation pressure, and what is if light is whatever magic bullshit you're telling about, then why does it have a pressure on an object? And moreover, like, why can we manipulate light physically? We can put it through a prism, divide it into its component colors. We can reflect it. We can magnify it. We can shrink it and make it a very point source of light, like lasers. We can do all sorts of crazy shit with light. But I guess it's all fake and gay.
And so they're playing within the wrong category. And that's where if you bring ether into it. So are you of the position that essentially all there is, everything is fundamentally in wave form? There is no particle form.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everything's an ether modality.
Ether modality.
That's what I would say.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What the hell is an ether modality? Let me remind you that Witsit said this.
I think that air itself is not what people think it is, right?
Mm-hmm. And what is it, Witsit?
You have a gradient of tenuity.
Uh-huh. Got it.
Literally everything.
Do you disagree with anything I just said, by the way?
No. Okay, no. Literally everything's an ether modality. That's the primary substance.
Mm-hmm.
People spiral when I speak so.
I'm sorry. Did you just say substance? As in the things that are in the material world? You dumb fuck.
Definitively about the ether, but it just is what it is. I mean, like, it's the primary substance. You know, this is what Tesla knew. I'm not appealing to the authority of Tesla, but I'm saying.
I love when people say, I'm not doing that fallacy, and then they go on to do that fallacy. It happened last night. With the word, and I told him, you're just doing a special pleading fallacy. And said, no, I'm not doing a special pleading fallacy. It's just that the mind of God is different than minds of humans. It's like, oh, okay. Got it. Thank you for proving me right. Yeah, literally appealing to his authority, bro.
You know, that's what he said was a required framework to even come up with his inventions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to realize what we even use today, the electrical field or, electrical grid that we use today all required Tesla's inventions.
Tesla's inventions of AC and also DC from who was the other one? Someone rescue me. I forgot the other name. It's not Alexander Graham Bell. Edison. Fuck. Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it either.
Edison.
But the point is that everything comes from it. So
Thank you.
I use the analogy of like a canvas, and I'm like, there is like a painter, there's a primary mover.
Yep.
Yeah. And you go all the way back to Eastern philosophy 1,000 years ago. It's you have Akasha, and you have the luminiferous ether, and then you have like the life-giving force or prana, as they would say in Eastern philosophy.
You think those are all different ways of talking about the same thing?
Yeah. There's a.
Oh, I love the heresy with it. You haven't read any of the Eastern nonsense. Like, what are you talking about?
Primary mover,
yep.
And then there's an ether. And so something's moving the ether, and then once the ether moves, we get energy in different forms: electricity, static electricity, magnetism. And then Tesla would say that static electricity is the ether under stress, like the idea of kind of putting gas pressure in a container and then make it smaller, and like it's under stress. And so that's where you get this little vibration that's holding everything together. And literally electrostatics.
Oh, for fuck's sake, what the fuck is he talking about?
Holds everything together. So that would...
No, it doesn't. Dummy. No, it doesn't. Because it pulls stuff together, but it also pulls stuff apart with it. Yes, you need to be super careful with the ether so that you don't stress it out.
Imply there's something above us that's actually pushing pressure down. And I would say maybe the presence of that primary mover, right? But whatever it is, there's being pressure, there's stress pushed down that creates this vibration. Because if you had gas pressure in a container, if you push the lid down, what's going to happen? It's going to start to vibrate more, right?
Well, actually, no. No. If you put water and you manage to seal it very carefully in a hydraulic press, it freezes. And when stuff is solid, it vibrates less. Liar. You filthy fucking liar. And the electron element is right. The ether pressure requires a container. Yes. And that container is with its giant ego.
And I won't even get into really gas pressure. What is that? And people say gas molecules. Like, what is that? See, I don't believe in that either. Like, there's no evidence of gas.
You just contradicted yourself when you said that everything is electrostatics, dummy. You can't have it both ways.
Gas particles either.
Right.
It's just a medium. And then
how do you when you talk about like
Clive says, has Witless discussed his discovery of the Humbletron? Yes, that is the particle that gives Witsit all of his characteristics. It's in different modalities. So yeah, that's how he gets all of his humbleness and everything else. Isa yellow.
Hi, I didn't know
What
you were
they-
streaming.
I told you.
No, I didn't know it this time. I thought it was gonna be like at 9.
No, I moved it because I set it to 9 because Craig was going to stream today at like 6, so I wanted to give me a buffer. And then Craig moved his stream to tomorrow, so I said like, what the hell, let's go, and I can go to bed early. Yay.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited at all about the debate that's happening today on MDD. That Taylor girl, she's so boring.
You love to do flat Earth though. That's like your go-to. It's like your favorite thing.
Yes. I mean,
Well-
I wish we could get more debate with flat earthers, but they don't debate anymore.
The
Yeah, I
debate
mean-
topic is it ethical or is pro-choice ethical or not? I think it is, right?
Yeah.
I think those are dumb
Yeah.
topics.
Well, that's subjective. That's subjective then anyway. Well, I mean, I guess they want something that's subjective, but yeah, it's still stupid either way.
It's always subjective. Everything is subjective. There is no objectivity
I
Well-
when it comes to like morals and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that the feminist stuff is really stupid, and it's like very Americocentric. That's the thing that kind of bothers me. It's a European diaspora from America, like it's very limited. Like these people have a very limited view of the world. These people, European diaspora from America, European Americans, and it's like people are like, wow, I want to hear what this European American has to say. Like there's so many different other cultures and heritages, And it was strange because they had the debate about Israel and the guy was a French guy debating about America. I was like, this is so weird. Dude.
Yeah, and a little bit of a white supremacist.
And he has some strange...
Yeah, that guy lives in Quebec.
life.
Quebec, Canada, yeah.
Oh, so he's a Quebecois? Is that what he is? Like a French Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Quebec, I was
Pretty
like,
cool there.
Say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it. Like I know some French too, so it's like, it's
All right. This is peak Witsit though. So I mean,
where's our best friend Witsit? He needs to come to the channel. I missed my friend.
yeah. Well, he is currently living with his mom, and I think he's super embarrassed because the last time I spoke to him, I think he was already at his mom's house, and he said like, "Give me a second, my mom needs something." And I was like, oh my God, you live with your mom? And I think he just got so embarrassed that until that changes, he's not coming back. I swear to God.
Is that embarrassing? I don't know. I mean, in South Asian culture, that's very normal that people live with their parents.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know him, and he's all about looks and the appearance of toughness and so on. So I'm pretty sure he's extremely embarrassed to be like Witsit is, I think, 1 year younger than me. Witsit is 36. So I mean, it's pretty embarrassing to have to go to your mom's house.
But is he helping his
past
mom too?
30.
I'm sure. I I'm sure he's helping his mom too, right? Like, so
He doesn't work. What's he going to do? Help with what?
yeah, maybe like cleaning up in the house, fixing stuff, maybe doing errands.
Do you think Witsit cleans?
He might. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I met him, he seemed just like a normal person. I think he probably has a lot of trauma from his breakup from his wife, but that's kind of probably very.
Shouldn't
probably
have lied.
What did he lie about? I don't know. I don't.
Oh,
really
he
know more.
hid that he was vaping from her, but it all and like the act of hiding it was the thing that made everyone notice that he was vaping in Antarctica. So it became a hashtag Vapegate thing. So
What
everyone,
his wife didn't want him to vape?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think there could be an addiction to that. It's hard. It's hard to break that.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't even touch that because I am sympathetic to addictions.
Yeah.
But Witsit in his high horse, like.
It was interesting getting to know Witsit. I think there's definitely probably a lot of trauma there too. Like when we talked about that Twitter post that you told me about, because I brought it up to him, and he was like, and it was interesting because he was like, well, and I've heard this narrative. He's like, well, I don't think that many people died in the Holocaust, and like I understand, it's hard when you're a person of European ancestry and your whole narrative is based on a Jewish narrative. Like that is the truth. Like Christianity is a very foreign narrative to like all these people's cultures, right? And you basically are thrust in hearing about this Jewish story, the story about ancient Jewish people, and your whole life is centered around these Jewish people. Your deity is a Jewish man. Like that's hard. I think it's very hard from you're a different culture where you don't even have like a veneration of your own culture. Like that's a tough situation, I think. If you think about it on like a really deep meta level, it's kind of heavy,
Mm-hmm.
How do you connect with this? Like you're like, this is not my culture. Like if I'm a Hispanic and I have my Spanish culture and then I'm believing in this ancient Jewish king as my deity, like I mean that's a
Oh my, I've seen that in action. A Mexican guy basically saying like, oh yeah, we're so happy that the Christians came here and killed all the damn Indians. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you actually serious? It's like, yeah, well, they brought civilization to the savages. It's like, oh fuck, no, I don't want.
There's a lot of self-loathing. There's
anymore.
A lot of self-loathing and hate, and that's hard. It's just a difficult. It's a very difficult situation.
Yeah, but then he went into like I told him, I brought up an article from the Mexican History Museum or something like that. And he was like, no, that's all fake. He's like, dude, you're insane. And then he started justifying that what the Spanish had done was coerce one group of indigenous people to attack another group of indigenous people. So his whole quip that day was like, oh yeah, it was brown on brown crime. And I was just tearing my hair apart, the little that I have left. It's wild when people do that kind of a thing to me. Like, absolutely insane.
There's a lot of internal hatred and trauma. Like it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, like, I ended up telling him, like, do you really wish you were blonde with blue eyes, don't you? And he was like,
Do you know what's bizarre, though? Those people with blonde hair and blue eyes wish that they could be Israelites. These people all want to be Jews. That's who they want to be because that's who their story is about. The New Testament, the Hebrew scriptures are about Jewish people. And they have this kind of internal, religious dysphoria because they're like, we are Europeans, but we believe in a Jewish mythology. It's heavy. That's a heavy situation, So these people, the Mexicans want to be the Europeans, and the Europeans want to be the Israelites.
Damn. Sorry, I kicked my computer and I unplugged it. I'll be right back.
I think that Aryan race stuff came from that Blavatsky, Helena Blavatsky. She's like the first person to talk about that, and then it was in that Secret Teachings book. And then some people adopted that, and Hitler used it, and other people talked about the Aryan race. I believe that's where it came from.
Well,
Yeah,
Helena
that's what-
Blavatsky was like a theosophist, so she was kind of like what we would call a New Ager. So that probably was
Yeah.
a part of it, but she was probably into like occult New Age stuff. Aleister Crowley. I kind of grew up with a lot of that stuff, like New Age psychic stuff. So
Yeah,
But
like
the
crystals.
Yahtzees were a lot into all of that
They're called-
nonsense.
They were into New Age
Yeah.
stuff. They were into New Age stuff, hippie New Age stuff.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's keep it
Oh,
going.
I wanted
'cause
to
we
say
have
one
so
thing.
much dumb to
Bi-
yes, go ahead.
Billy, I saw that. I don't know where your video game streams are anymore. I don't see them. Did you delete?
Yeah, no, I don't make videos anymore. I just do live streams now.
Okay, but I saw
Yeah, I've
your
stopped-
Holy Fist stream, and I actually played the game too. It's not a great fighting game, but it was kind of fun. I was like, oh, cool! I had seen this game before. The Kensei the Holy
Oh, yeah.
Fist with a PlayStation game. I played it on an emulator,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's pretty cool. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Cool thing.
Ale says, not
All right.
really. Mexicans, by and large, would just want Mexico to be as safe and prosperous as Europe, but most Mexicans are proud of being Mexican. It's dumb cause, not a choice, but still. No, I wasn't making a general argument. I was talking about one specific dude that felt, because he's a Christian, he felt the compelling need to tell me how the extermination of the native peoples was a good thing. That was what I was saying. I wasn't making a general argument. I mean, I know that La Raza is proud of being La Raza. No, I know that. It's just that every once in a while you come across one of these wackos, which I haven't come across people who would say shit like that in person ever. I only started coming across when I started doing debating on the MDD Discord and that kind of stuff. So it's still quite a shock to me that people will come on and defend, slavery, genocide, rape, and all of the nastiest thing that the planet has to offer, just because it's on the book. That's kind of my point. All right, let's keep it going.
Electrons, neutrons, protons. How do you talk about them?
Well,
Because I always struggle with this. Like, what language
tough.
do we use? You know?
yeah, it's tough because I've sat down with some people and we've gone through the whole thing and basically redefined it from the etheric framework.
Mhm.
It's tough, man.
You did what? Oh, Alex says that he was responding to Isa saying Mexicans want to be European. No, but I think he wants. We were talking about those people in particular. Again, not a general argument. I imagine he also meant the wackos. Here they're called mireches, basically rich spoiled brat. Yes, I like that. Mireches means my kings.
Because the phenomena are real.
Yeah.
I say it's tough because no one's ever going to hear anything we come up with. I mean, we are reintroducing an entire new framework of interpretation of the whole world.
Yeah, the problem is that you do all of that on Discord and you're kind of a bit of a dumb fuck and a grifter, so no one will ever care. Except for us that we care because we laugh at it. We're under the suspicion that they're long lost twin derp brothers.
Right.
It's it's so funny. People come up like, well, then what is this? Like, you mean the thing that took 5 million people 100 years and billions of dollars to make up? Like, why don't you fully replace that, bro? But with the electron, you have to take them one by one. So the electron is the terminal end of one unit line of dielectric conduction is what I think it is, and that's what the evidence shows.
Mhm.
J.J. Thomson, who's accredited to discovering it, that's what he originally said it was, and then he got a Nobel Prize all of a sudden once he said something else.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to fact check this. Who discovered the electrons? Okay, he was right on the person. So he discovered the electron while studying cathode rays at Cambridge University. That's where Clive works. And Clive says he has an aptitude for mathematics, physics, and humility and surveying. And don't forget, he's legally adept as fuck. So yeah, At Cambridge University's Cavendish Laboratory, he identified these rays as composed of negatively charged subatomic particles much smaller than atoms, which he initially termed corpuscles. His work proved atoms are divisible. That's pretty cool.
Needed the material interpretation again because once Michelson-Morley happened, it changed everything. It is literally the most important test ever. Like in my
filthy liar. It's not. It's a no. It gave a null result. It disproved the ether, and I've showed it countless times. The first sentence of that paper disproves your whole nonsense with it because they acknowledge that the Earth is moving. You're done. And then someone, I didn't, Mailer, 1 second, where is my paper for that? Ah, shoot, where did I leave it? Here. Got it, give me 1 second. Copy. Here we go. Because I was missing this one. On the last time I didn't have this handy, but my gurney shared this to me. I think. Here we go. The ether drift experiment and the determination of the absolute motion of the Earth. And again, this is going to debunk Witsit in the first sentence. The ether drift, first suggested by Maxwell in 1878, made possible by Michelson's invention of the interferometer in 1881, though suitable for the detection of the general absolute motion of the Earth, was actually applied for detecting only the known orbital component of Earth motion. That's it. It's over. You're done. The first sentence, like in the previous paper, in the Michelson-Morley, the first sentence debunks whatever Witsit wants to cry about. So we're done here, right, Witsit? You're not going to bring this up again? We know you won't. You will because you're a derpling.
Modern times. I don't know what they did back in the day, but it changed everything. I mean, the fight that you're fighting can be tracked back to Michelson-Morley.
It can. Literally. We were talking about that before recording. Like it really can actually be tracked back to Michelson-Morley.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And the average person doesn't even know what that means. Michelson-Morley, what is that?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it was like a thing they call an experiment. It was a test. It was a measurement back in the day. They're like, why would I care about that? It changed everything. It changed the
No, it didn't. It just disproved the ether.
The way that we're taught the world works. So yeah, I think it's the primary substance, and then when you get into like the neutron, you have to look at each one of the claims. What is the neutron? What do they claim it is? Like, for example, neutrinos is this new thing at the top of like the edge of science, as people would say. It's like, no, it's just the particle theory doesn't work, and they say neutrinos go through matter.
Dumbass. If neutrinos don't exist, why is it that in the neutrino labs they can see where the fucking sun is through the Earth? They can locate where the sun is below their feet. So dumb.
And they can't really find them, and they go the speed of light, but not the speed of light, and maybe they look like they go faster than the speed of light, which would be impossible. And then they go through, like matter. And it's just like, no, there's an ether, and everything is a modality of that ether, and you can't embrace that framework. So yeah, like the electron would basically just be the gap in a field. It's to put it really simple. Like if you had like a piece of spaghetti and you start.
Oh my fucking cat! This dumbass is saying that the donut hole is a thing. Like, how can the electron, the thing electron, be a hole in a field? What's it? Think about, you have a donut and you have the donut hole, but that is just a linguistic convenience because the donut hole is just the absence of donut in a zone, right? Oh my God. Oh, Aragorn, we are finally countrymen. I got my Spanish citizenship finalized last week. I've been waiting for 2 years for the damn paperwork, and I got it. Now I'm in the works of getting my passport.
Chopping it up. It's like the break on the end of each.
I forgot to say, que viva España. Sorry.
Each little piece of spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's because everything is fluid, right? And so then there are vibrations in that fluid, which gives you waves, and then those dissipate in a certain way. And so we're able to isolate electrons, quote unquote. Like the phenomenon is very real.
Yeah.
You're able to predictably know that there's going to be this little quantifiable amount of charge. And so that's actually what it all comes down to.
Can it just be a...
Gee, I wonder why. I don't plan on going to live in Europe or Spain or anything like that. I'm planning a long visit, but not no. And I love living here. The phenomenon is very real. Yes.
Concentration of charge, negative charge in that case, in one place.
Yeah.
I hate the term negative charge.
Yeah,
too,
because then it's like, really, well, what is charge?
Yeah.
Before we even attribute negative or positive, right? What even is charge? I say it's vibration.
Yep.
Yeah. And then obviously negative and positive is stupid. There aren't plus signs and negative signs, and
totally.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we attribute the positive and the negative to the measurement, but they're distinctively different charges. Different charges attract, similar charges repel, right? But they don't have a minus or a plus sign in nature, but that's how we defined it. And I mean, I think we got it pretty nailed down, because this fucking thing works, and this has nothing to do with the ether. The ether has been done away from the science circles for a while now. Witsit is so dumb. He just... Douglas Jenkins says, Witsit tosses Cation to the wind.
And you get it, right? That's a big important thing to understand as well, though. It's kind of like heat and cold. Everything is about equilibrium.
Yep.
So really, like, the core tenets of everything are very simple. It's like, okay, everything's connected. It almost sounds like woo-woo is what someone would say. It's that simple.
I love that he debunks himself for me. Yes, this is woo nonsense, Witsit. Bravo.
Though everything is interconnected. Everything comes from the same thing. Everything is vibration. Like, that's it.
No, on that note, though, like when you're talking about it being, quote, woo-woo, this has made the various...
Oh, Leo always has the best things to say. Charge is just a conserved generator of symmetry, a number that is conserved under transformations that defines the strength with which the field in question couples to the relevant gauge field. Oh, that went like completely over my head. But yeah, thank you so much, Leo.
Metaphysical, spiritual, esoteric phenomena that I was interested in before, more tangible and real, understanding, there's an actual background medium that we're always interacting with.
Yeah.
Just like I said earlier regarding telepathy.
Another contradiction. It can be a background medium if it's outside of the material world, you morons. Dude, you could line these two up ear to ear and cover their noses, and you get a trumpet.
And all the things, like it makes sense of all that stuff and makes it way less woo-woo and makes it very, very real.
Yeah, and before you even introduce a specific intelligent designer, it introduces moral accountability. Because, like, if there's
Again, really? Where was your moral accountability when you were spitting on your wife? Where was your moral accountability all the times you got arrested? Where was your moral accountability when you are, like, literally lying about the shape of the earth right now? Witsit? Where is it? You have no fucking clue about moral accountability, you filthy degenerate. And I don't like saying degenerate because I think degenerate is a compliment and not an insult, but he is a pretty degenerate person. Tim Davidson for $5 says, the man tried hiding his vaping from his wife in front of a 360 camera is dumb. You might be onto something. I mean, it wasn't just one camera. There were like, I don't know, 10 cameras at the same time, all rolling. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. He's just not.
Medium, whatever you're doing is being thrown out in that. You know, like if you think there's just materialism and it's like, whatever, I can see the immediate effects of what I do on the material world and then I can get away with this thing. Nah, bro, there's a metaphysical medium. There's like an ocean.
There's not. Because people get away with crimes all the time. And I mean, I tried to talk Bible with Witsit and he ran away faster than you can imagine. The video is up there. It's on the videos section. I think it's when I debated him on morality.
Like you're throwing rocks in this etheric ocean, basically, with your thoughts, your intentions, your actions, everything you're doing. It's there forever. That's what the Akashic Records references, right? It's always.
Oh, Akashic Records? Seriously? Is there any derp that you do not subscribe to, Witsit? I would love to find that.
Is there.
Yep.
So before you even get into debates about what a creator is or anything, it's his name or her name or anything like that. It's just that what you're doing is here forever, basically. You know, you can't unthrow the rock. So I think that's incredibly.
Sure you can. Oh my God, demonstration. Give me 1 second. I need a prop. I think it's a technicality, but if I throw this and then I put it back, then I can throw it again. So if you throw a rock and you go and grab it and you throw it, it is kind of like unthrowing it because you moved it from position A to position B and then back. So, oh my God. He tries to be deep and gets the stupidest stuff incorrect. It's lovely.
Important and would probably make the world a better place just in and of itself if everyone had to accept that. And we do. Like in terms of like physics has shown it, logic shows it, like you have to accept it. So anyway, that's why I'm like, even like a very deep, like philosophical level, I'm super passionate about it. Cause I'm like,
oh, Witsit, where was your moral compass when you were trying to raise off underage girls on a website? Where was your morality there?
You know, I see so many people, they think they get away with stuff. They think that they can deceive people and lie to them and manipulate them. And if they deceive that person that got away with it, you totally didn't get away with it.
100%.
Like it's there, brother. Like it's still there.
It also makes.
Oh my God, the deceiver talking about people deceiving. Don't you love that? Let's do a little bit of a tour around Witsit's extensive criminal record. Give me 1 second here. Here we go. April 9, 2013, possession of marijuana. April 5, 2014, driving while license revoked. October 4th, 2015, assault, punched someone at a bar. 2016, public intoxication. October 2018, public intoxication. March 5th, 2019, shoplifting. March 23rd, 2021, possessing marijuana, but I don't even smoke, bro. August 4th, 2021, flapping his face hole out Mount Rushmore. And October 2nd, 2023, domestic battery. This is when he spat on his wife's face. On the other hand, my filthy atheist butt has never been arrested for anything. So that means that I'm either a law-abiding citizen or I'm a criminal mastermind. You can decide. Whichever is fine by me. I really don't care.
Sense of like, I know you have kids as well, and I'll just share my experience. I'd love to hear yours. It's like when I'm incredibly stressed out, even if I'm trying to stuff it down and shield my kids from any physical evidence of my stress, because I'm, cognizant of like, oh, I don't want to project that onto them. They still feel it, and it reflects in them. And of course,
yes. Oh my God, that video is great. Witsit said to his ex-wife, and I quote, Dude, I hate you, bro. Baboton says Max is a law-abiding citizen. Cat is the criminal mastermind. Well, he's a little bit aggressive.
Children are a perfect mirror, but that's why, because it's still emanating out through your individuated, let's say, biofield into the ether.
Your stress emanates through the biofield into the ether and an old lady. Sorry, and into your kids. I'm sorry, I got distracted reading this. Nikki Lauder says, wow, Max is an old lady puncher, pro hacker, and criminal mastermind.
And then their field, individuated field, is picking up on it. It's all one thing, but different distortions, variations of the ether, you could say. And their fields are picking up on it, and it's
maybe it's not that humans have like empathy and there are facial and movement and verbal cues that give away kind of the status in which you are in at the moment, and that animals can pick up on that, and kids, of course, they know you, they can pick up on that, yada yada. No, never mind. We need this completely nonsensical, esoteric explanation for something as simple as we have evolved a sort of perception of people that we know. I mean, you can't really empathize off the cuff with someone. If you meet someone for the first time and you don't know what they're like, with their resting face and so on, and they're just like there, you won't be able to identify if they have any kind of emotion at the time, stress or whatever. You identify certain cues, but it requires a sort of familiarity, even though there are some like default. Remember that series, Lie to Me? It's heavily fictionalized, but there are some things like all humans smile the same way, like opening your mouth wide, because we all have the same muscles there, and that's what makes us smile. When you're happy, you smile. That kind of a thing, right? But there is a baseline, but some other cues, like if someone is stressed, it requires some familiarity to understand.
impacting them in a very real way.
Yeah, totally. Like even young age, bro. Like, yeah, Aaliyah does that a lot. She'll say, "Don't be mad, Dada," or don't be mad, Daddy. I'm like, well, I'm not mad. She can tell something aggravated me. Doesn't matter, she knows. I'm like, no, Daddy's not mad. Something's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, 2 years old. Yeah, I think that they probably communicate on that level. I think it almost gets bred out of us.
100%.
Yeah, it's like Benjamin Button.
Totally agree, dude. This year at the festival that I run, Confluence, we have at least 7 kids doing an in-person blindfolded vision demonstration.
Oh, nice.
I've seen it in person myself. Reese, how many episodes do I bring this up? Like every other episode?
Can we get this guy investigated? Like, why don't you do that with adults and leave the kids alone, you sick bastard? That is just... I just threw up in my mouth a bit.
But again, when you bring in the context of the ether, it just makes sense of it. But it's also that this is what we are all capable of at our conception. Like the parents of both sets of kids that I've seen demonstrate blindfolded vision say the same thing, that all kids have the capacity to learn this, have the capacity to activate this, and it becomes increasingly more challenging the older you get. And I think that's because you're more conditioned, more indoctrinated at that point in time. So it becomes a little bit harder to do that.
Yeah, and also think about like how we're told to interpret the world.
I love the framing of this interaction. You have on one side Witsit desperately trying to peddle his grift to this guy and his audience, and then you have the other moron trying to peddle his grift back to Witsit, and they're just like, oh, we can make a super grift and we can mishmash it and just say whatever, because all of this is unfalsifiable.
Man, like the next Nikola Tesla is being told that a little particle bounces around called the electron. But if you just told him what Tesla said, for example, he would have a totally different outlook, and maybe make incredibly profound discoveries early on. Same with
Yeah, if you lie to people and you tell them unverified stuff, they will get wrong stuff wrong. Yes. Steve 6464 for $10. Thank you so much. If you're observing a rabbit moving through a medium, are you watching the Easter bunny? I love that.
I think the children are being told these ideas through a materialistic framework, oftentimes, certainly when they get into any schooling system.
Totally.
So that's when it really, I think that's when you just completely shut those children off.
Mhm.
It's like criminal.
It's criminal.
It's
totally
criminal.
Oh my God. You're both criminals. You fucking grifters, liars. You're the ones lying to children. The earth is not flat. The ether doesn't exist. There is no such thing as psychic powers. You're both liars and criminals because you do lie to children.
And then like all sit down and do it at the same pace.
Well, luckily we got dads like you and I who are not doing that with our kids and other people who are listening to this. The thing is, like, a lot of people who listen to my podcast, watch my podcast, people that I'm friends with, and you hear this term thrown around quite a bit, quantum. Like, it frustrates me because I don't think they understand.
They don't understand. Oh boy, the levels of projection here. Electron Element says, so Witsit would say the theory of electron tubes is a bunch of lies. Yeah, probably. Well, he would have to invent some deflection, like, for example, electron microscopes. How the fuck do they work? Because he did say that the electron was something missing in a field. None of this makes any kind of a sense. These two are complete morons.
The problems with quantum mechanics,
I need to go to the toilet. I'll be right back.
Physics, how it's all entirely unproven and how it's all ultimately derived from the same atomism particle-based ideas of how this realm works. But I get what they're saying. Like when you and I would call something the etheric field, right? Or the information field or something like this. They say the quantum field. And it just really bothers me that term is used. Yeah, just what are your thoughts on the whole like quantum paradigm?
Yeah. Okay. Big, this is very important.
Yeah.
So, well, like what does quantum mean? You get, I think it's a German word, quanta, to counts. So if you're coming from a materialistic framework, you have to count everything. Everything can be counted assumptively, right? That's actually where this all started. The whole idea of quantum is that they're going to count everything. And it is very convenient to count things because then you're able to put them in equations and then you're able to predict things. And I actually don't have too much beef with the math. I just have beef with the reification of the math.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let me ask a mathematician. Clive, are you in the chat still? Do you think that Witsit has the prerequisite knowledge to not have a problem with the math when it comes to quantum mechanics? Oh my God. Oh yes, he said it comes from German. Again, just throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks.
So they had to make a model.
Leo says, I don't think either of these guys could do a simple harmonic oscillator problem, let alone any sort of basic quantum mechanics. I agree. Once upon a time, when I was in fourth year of high school, I used to be able to do harmonic oscillation problems and pendulums and all that kind of stuff I could calculate. And I do know a little bit about waves in the sense of sound waves. I do know how to manipulate sound waves to make sounds, which is way more than any of these two numpties can do.
they count everything, throw it in an equation, and then they reified it. They forgot it was a model, right? That's the issue. But yeah, so like just in general, quantum is the need to give a name to every different little phenomena so you can count it. Like it's that simple. And I will say quantum mechanics is like one of the most cutting edge fields of discovery in the world. Like it is. Like they are really breaking it down. And then they're, for example, they'll tell you something like quantum foam exists. And this is just basically, in really simple terms, having a vacuum chamber, and they know how much like pressure's in it, how much charge should be in it. And then they look at it for a second, all of a sudden something pops up and they're like, where does it come from? It came from somewhere. So then they started saying that there's this infinite amount of quantum fields in the background. It's basically just an indirect way of acknowledging the ether.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the homogeneous medium, you have to.
There we go. Clive says, Witless has not got the basic of arithmetic, let alone be able to solve differential equations or work with quantum fields. Thank you so much, Clive.
You have like this infinite need to name it. And they want to count it. They want to count it. So it's
no, Bruce. I don't play instruments. I can start with waves, with just sound waves on my computer on different oscillators, and I can make pretty much any sound that I can think of.
materialistic need to count.
What about quantum entanglement?
So like, yeah, it's a theory and an idea of, again, that's immediately explained by the ether.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. But I haven't pulled one of these in a while. Let me... Damn you, Steel City. The only skin flute I play is attached to me. Give me 1 second. Let me find the paper. Here we go. Archive. What's the archive? Is that it? What the fuck? Relativity. There we go. What are they talking about? Entanglement, right? Quantum. Give me 1 second. Quantum. Here, testing the effects of gravity and motion of quantum entanglement in space-based experiments. So let me copy the link. If anyone wants to check that out, all of this has been experimentally validated with it. And this tech is what could potentially give us in the future quantum internet, which would be kick-ass. So, I mean, Witsit is just like literally talking out his ass, and I don't understand half of this, but I searched for any refutation to this paper, and I couldn't find any. So, to me, that's a clear indication that this paper is correct. When there's a paper that's wrong, you get refutations very quickly. Wait, no, it wasn't showing it. Damn. This is the paper. We can read the abstract. We propose an experiment to test the effects of gravity and acceleration on quantum entanglement in space-based setups. We show that the entanglement between excitations of two Bose-Einstein condensates is degraded after one of them undergoes a change in the gravitational field strength. This prediction can be tested if the condensates are initially entangled in two separate satellites while being in the same orbit, and then one of them moves to a different orbit. We show that the effect is observable in a typical orbital maneuver of nanosatellites like CanX4, and CanX5. And this would be the diagram. You have two satellites that are entangled, and then you move one, and that changes. Figure 1, experimental proposal. 2 BECs inside separate satellites are entangled while both are in the same circular low Earth orbit. Then one of them undergoes acceleration during a finite time in order to change to a different circular orbit by means of a Hohmann transfer orbit. Pretty cool. And these numpties are saying, nah, that doesn't exist. Bro, hello, bro.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah. So it's just like, there's like, oh, it's this profound, complex thing. This is when people go off and say like, oh, look, the world's just so complex, you can't understand it. I say ineptitude conflates profundity with paradox, or paradox with profundity, right? Because it's like, yeah, you're in a paradox because your paradigm is wrong.
No, we're not in a paradox. Witsit, the fact that you are dumb changes nothing about the facts of the world. You're just an idiot. The sooner you deal with the fact that you're not smart, your life will improve drastically.
Yes.
It's not that it's so profound that we can never understand it. It's that you're wrong. People do this with relativity a lot. It's so paradoxical. People think, oh, it just must be like above me. Like, no, it's actually dumb. It's actually stupid.
Dumb. Yeah.
Like honestly.
Oh. Shall we do relativity? Yes. Give me 1 second. Let me grab a paper here. Oh, this is a good one. Let me share it to you. There you go. Resolving the gravitational redshift within a millimeter atomic sample. So what does that mean in layman's terms? They were able to determine time dilation within a millimeter with 2 samples with a 1 millimeter separation. Einstein's theory of relativity states that clock at different gravitational potentials tick at different rates, an effect known as gravitational redshift. As fundamental probes of space and time, atomic clocks have long served to test this prediction at distance scales from 30 centimeters to thousands of kilometers. Ultimately, clocks will study the union of general relativity and quantum mechanics once they become sensitive to the finite wave function of quantum objects oscillating in curved spacetime. Towards this regime, we measure a linear frequency gradient consistent with gravitational redshift within a single millimeter scale sample of ultra-cold strontium. Our result is enabled by proving the fraction of frequency measurement uncertainty by more than a factor of 10, now reaching 7.6 times 10 to the negative 21. This heralds a new regime of clock operation necessitating intrasample corrections for gravitational perturbations. Like, the only thing missing from that paper was "fuck you" Witsit at the end, and that's it. It just debunked all of your nonsense, you morons. CK, been a member for 6 months, halfway around the sun. Hello, bro. His blouse doesn't make him smarter.
That's not that he didn't understand it himself, and he stole it. But yeah. He stole it anyway. So, but yeah, like I don't know why everyone throws the word quantum. I think I do. It's because it's trickled down to us that it's like whoa, we discovered the world is much more complex than we knew it was. And that's true, they did, because they went in there with the lens of materialism. Yeah. That's all. So quantum entanglement it's just a mathematical trick. So it's not like it's not actually even observational. Most of the time it is.
I love that I preemptively showed that he's wrong. So we're going to laugh and move on.
Mathematical need, right? It's like, oh, well, if we assume our model, assume our paradigm, we do the math, it's like, this has to be able to happen. That's really all it is. But I will say,
it does happen in the lab, dummy.
Instantaneous action at a distance, similar idea. Makes sense in an ether.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if there is a medium, then it totally makes sense.
Right.
And it makes sense in a much more easy to understand way.
It only makes sense
Oh, I don't you love when they just say stuff?
Yeah.
If there's I mean, that's why Einstein called it spooky or whatever.
Yeah. Spooky action at a distance.
Yeah, and then you go all the way back to this fairy tale of heliocentrism. You get Isaac Newton, right? And he was like, there has to be a medium if there's instantaneous action at distance. And he didn't call it that, but that's what because he said gravity was just instantly happening. He's like, I don't understand how that could be possible. God must be doing it, but there definitely has to be a medium that's touching both things.
I don't think you want to appeal to Isaac Newton's theology. You can read. Isaac Newton wrote a commentary on the book of Daniel that is all incorrect. All of it.
Things at the same time. And it's that simple, right? Like if something's going to happen here and here instantly, then they have to be connected. And like the real simple analogy is like having a lake and then there's an earthquake, right? If the whole lake will move at the same time, right? Because it's just one medium. And so all the water's moving together. Now it's not the perfect analogy because then where's the epicenter of the earthquake? And then it's like, whatever, put it right in the middle of the center of the lake. You know, it doesn't matter. But so yeah, instantaneous action at distance, this thing that has been considered the most like confounding phenomena ever actually is very simple. It's just that there's a medium there, right? There's a medium there. It's like if I pull a rope, it's like as soon as I pull it, does it instantly move? You know, it's if there's a huge gap there, yeah, you're gonna be real confused if I move over here and all of a sudden that's is moving. So,
Witsit solved it, guys. It's ropes. It's ropes all the way down. Oh my god.
So that part is wild.
Sounds like string theory.
A little bit, yes. So, but rope theory. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Redundant. It all goes back to the same thing, man. It goes back to the same thing. It's like the reason that we have quantum physics that we currently have is because the need to throw out the ether. If you didn't throw out the ether, then you don't even have to do any of that. And it's so funny, bro. You look into quantum mechanics and physics, it's just the ether. It's like quantum foam. It's something that's beyond the world that we see in it.
No. It's not beyond the world. It's in the world, dummy. That's the fundamental difference of that. Quantum foam is a thing here now.
Comes from it, but we don't know what it is. And then here are different fields, and they're like, "Oh, it's the electron field." What's the electron field? It's it's a mathematical equation where we describe where the electron is. I'm like, what? So what's the electron? It's an excitation within the electron field. So I'm like, it's an excitation of math. It's so stupid. And
you dumb fuck. No, the math is a description of what things are doing in reality. Let's take, for example, I threw the ball, but let's take a projectile. I grab this and I throw it. I can predict the path of the projectile if I know exactly. Let's say I have a machine that will always impart the same force into the joystick, into the controller, it will always land in the same way, right? So I can predict where it is. Now, the math is strictly correlated with the path of the physical thing. It's just a description of something that happens in reality. It's not a reification, bro. It's just not. You're wrong. Leo says, quantum fields are non-composite, fundamental physical entities. It doesn't make sense to ask what they are. They're fields. Leo, always with the best statements to clear up my dumb brain.
That's that question right there.
Thank you so much, Leo.
To many PhDs, physicists or whatever, there's no answer. It's just stupid. But it's the same thing always. But this is what people should ask, though. Like, so why not just accept the ether then? And it has major implications, philosophical ones. So then now you're like, who's kind of calling this? Who's directing this? Where they want to make sure that this philosophical implication is avoided.
And what are those major philosophical implications? I'm sure I could come up with some, but I know you've thought about.
Oh my! I mean, get ready because this is going to be just a waterfall of dumb. Just, I don't know. If there's kids, move them away from the TV. This will probably damage their brains.
It's way more than me.
Yeah, well, the obvious one is with Michelson-Morley that the Earth is not moving. So then, like we said earlier, it's like the Earth is special. So if there's this,
I told you we've covered this. we've debunked this to infinity and back. You're wrong. You're just a liar.
Center of everything that we can see. If you want to say it's specifically accurate, as far as we can see, Earth's in the center of it. Then how to get there? And so there seems to be a concerted effort or interest.
No, you can't. You can't move from incorrectly interpreting science to make a theological point, you dumb fuck. That's not how any of that works. Even if you were right, then you still wouldn't be able to make the leap from Mickelson Morley to God. That is just nonsense, pure nonsense.
In avoiding the idea of intelligent design. And the answer for that is obvious, right? Because like, if I'm going to kick in your door, if your family's in there, it's going to be way harder to get in there than if you're just some like loser on the couch that have you don't care. Yeah. It's like, if you have something to live for, then you're
talk about loser on the couch. How are stuff going? How is life going with it?
much harder to conquer. Also, the government can't be God if you have a real creator. Yeah, right. And so that's who you answer to. Yep. So like, actually, I don't have a 7 o'clock.
Who the fuck thinks that the government is God? Who? In the history of humanity, who has ever said that the government is God? No idea.
Curfew, right? You know, the creator didn't tell me how to curfew tonight, so I'm actually not gonna do that, nor be scared of the air that clearly was made for me to breathe and stuff. So I think that those are the two major ones, right? It's power and control, the implications that this place is special. So of course you are. We have domain on the earth. So then it's like, well, wow. So the most special place, you were given the most special position on it. So that's so empowering, you know, and that's very, very hard to control.
Witsit, we do not have domain over the earth. We're just very stubborn, and we have developed technologies. Most of the earth is extremely hostile to humans. Extremely hostile to humans.
People that way.
Yeah, totally. So. The other thing that I want to get into just real quick, if we could, and if this isn't relevant, we can cut this out. But I want to talk about Robert Bennett and what you've discussed with him, because he is a credentialed PhD in which field is it again?
Physics.
In physics. Okay. Yeah. What are some of the conversations you've had with him regarding all this?
A lot about geocentrism, which means Earth-centered. He says
and in geocentrism, Earth is what shape with it? Is it a globe? I think it's a globe.
Statics. We don't know for sure what the center is. We can only see so far. He's like you're never going to catch this guy, you know? So that's why he says that. Because Earth-centered, I mean, I say geocentrism as far as we can see, but he's like, well, technically we just know it's not moving. Anyway.
Yeah, he's wrong about that.
Just to lay out who he is, right? He's a PhD in physics, worked with some people that worked directly with Einstein, wrote his thesis in like the relative motion of rigid bodies. So it's like specific to the field that we're talking about of relativity. He found out relativity is not true. And then it found out there's an ether, of course. And that's why relativity was even a thing, because you had to answer Michelson-Morley, you know, and that takes you to the Earth's not moving. So he had seen some of my stuff. We ended up linking up, mutual contacts. And then we have incredible conversations about everything. I'm like, what is the ether? How does it work? It's so freeing to talk to someone that is like him with a whole lifetime experience, who is just accepting the truth for what it is, like what the evidence.
You just love a yes man, don't you, Witsit?
Says. And so it's like, okay, let's figure out how it works. So basically that's all we do. We talk about how it works. We bounce ideas off each other. And then we think about, oftentimes we talk about other things that kind of definitively prove that the Earth's not moving or that there's an ether. What are the properties of the ether, right? And so like he
how can something that is outside of the material world that you have no access to, how can you talk about its properties? Witsit, you've said repeatedly today that the ether is not science. You can't know anything about it. Dude, I wonder if he forgets what he said 5 minutes before. That's why he contradicts himself so much, and why he hates being having his words played back to him.
Broke down how the Newton bucket experiment, quote unquote, proves the Earth's not moving, and it was like a super profound moment for me where I'm like, dude, you're totally right. Let's go try it out. I said, PhD astronomer, you should debate him, and then he's just stuttering, has no answer, you know. Like a bucket with water proves the Earth's not moving.
No, it doesn't. How? The fuck are you talking about?
So yeah, things like that. So conversations about evidences of the Earth being stationary. And then what I really get excited to talk to him about is like, let's kind of spitball and figure out the properties of the ether, right? Like, how does it work? Yeah. And then, for example, talked a lot about Aries failure. Aries failure is when, really simply,
Another thing Witsit loves to lie about. For this, I am going to defer back to Astronomy Live. And we're going to look for Aries. Aries failure. Here we go. You know what? I might just, I need to go to the toilet again. So we're going to let Astronomy Live explain to us why and how Witsit is wrong. So Astronomy Live, take it away.
It's a phenomenon where starlight will enter the telescope at a slightly different angle depending on what time of year it is due to Earth's orbital motion around the sun. For the purposes of this illustration, I'll exaggerate the angles involved, but in reality, the shift is only about 0.006 degrees at most. But now with stellar aberration included in the simulation, you can see that the photons of starlight are entering the telescope. Now let's make the telescope tube transparent so that we can see the photon of light traveling down the tube to the back end. Now, of course, in this example, the telescope is simply filled with air, which has a minimal impact on the velocity of light. But in 1871, astronomer George Airy tested the hypothesis that if you filled a telescope with water, which would slow the light down, that you would see an increased amount of stellar aberration due to Earth's orbital motion as the photon passed through the water in the telescope. In the 19th century, it was thought that light was traveling through a medium known as the luminiferous ether. And as Earth orbited the sun over the course of the year, you see a shift in the star's position due to stellar aberration because the light is entrained in this medium that has a velocity vector relative to Earth that is changing due to our orbit around the sun. This led to the hypothesis that if you slowed light down by using water or some other dense medium to reduce its velocity through the telescope, that you would see a greater amount of stellar aberration because it was thought that light was entrained in this ether, and so it would not affect the lateral motion caused by Earth's motion relative to the background ether. If we look at these velocity vectors of this photon as it approaches a water-filled telescope, it was believed that the water would slow the light down along the green axis through the telescope, but not the red line representing the amount of stellar aberration caused by light being entrained in the luminiferous ether. It's important to note that a lot of space deniers today will make this assumption implicitly. Whether they explicitly state that they believe in ether or not, they will want the viewer to believe that water should only slow the light along the long axis of the telescope, but have no impact on the lateral velocity of light relative to the telescope caused by Earth's motion. Of course, this begs the question, how would water know to only slow the light along the long axis of the telescope, and why would it do that? If the answer is that the photon is entrained in the luminiferous ether, and therefore the lateral motion is still there regardless of the light slowing it along the long axis of the telescope, this needs to be stated explicitly, and evidence for this luminiferous ether needs to be provided. In this illustration of a water-filled telescope, the photon slows down once it enters the telescope's water-filled tube, but the angle which it exits the telescope is the same as the angle with which it entered the telescope. This is what Airy observed. The water in the telescope had no impact on the angle of stellar aberration. The water had no way of knowing that part of the angle that the photon entered the telescope at was due to Earth's orbital motion, and to leave that relative motion alone as it slowed the photon down. This is what it would look like if the photon was entrained in ether that would continue to drag the photon even as the water slows its progress down through the telescope. Entrained in ether is just a way of saying that the photon is embedded in the medium, and therefore it will be essentially dragged through the water by Earth's orbital velocity relative to that medium, regardless of the water slowing down the progress of the photon through the telescope. Of course, this is not the result that we see in reality, but this result is only predicted if the photon is embedded in a medium that maintains that lateral velocity regardless of the slowing effect of water. Until next time, thanks for watching, and clear skies.
Oh my, Astronomy Live is just the best. Thank you for that, Astronomy Live.
You have a telescope and you look at a star. If say the star is directly above you, you actually have to tilt the telescope a little bit. Though it doesn't even matter if it's directly above you. When you have to tilt the telescope a little bit to keep the star in the center of the telescope. So if you line it right up on there, you actually have to tilt the telescope. So what that shows is that there is some type of movement. Like when you're seeing this light, it's moving somehow. It's the idea of like basically take a cannonball and drop it in the cannon. If you move the cannon, it's not going to get in the cannonball. To actually get the cannonball to fall back in the cannon, you're going to have to tilt it right at an angle while it's moving so it can fall in. You have to catch it at the right angle, right? So you have to do that with the telescope.
So basically, what you're trying to say here is that it's falling through a medium, like the.
Well, yeah, that's where it gets to.
Yeah,
yeah. So what they did was they said
lies, and more lies.
Itself is falling through a medium.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say light is the medium. But
light is the medium.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would say.
Okay.
But and that's a little further down. So you have the telescope, and it is true you have to tilt it, so that shows that something's moving. Like again, like if you just drop the cannonball, you're gonna have to move the cannon at an angle to catch it at the right time. And so they would say the Earth is moving, and that's why. And then actually, if you Google it, right, it'll tell you this is proof the Earth is moving, right? Which of course it isn't, even if it matched what they expected. But long story short, Airy was like, well.
He just said, even if it matched what they expected. What a double-speaking piece of trash.
Okay, let's put water in it. And so if light is actually traveling to us and the Earth is moving, as the light gets in the water, it's going to slow down, which means it's going to take longer to get through the telescope. So we're going to have to tilt it even more, right? Because if we're moving, the Earth is still going to be moving with the telescope. So now the light's going to take longer to get through the telescope because there's water in it. So then we're going to see a greater angle. And they knew exactly what that angle should be. You just do the math. And it did not do that. It did not do that. So it showed it wasn't the Earth that was moving.
Wow.
It showed definitively.
Liar. You filthy liar.
It wasn't. I actually brought this up on Tim Pool, and the guy kind of panicked because there is no answer. It's actually maybe more damning than
there is an answer. The answer is you're just lying.
It's hard to believe.
Sounds like it's me.
And it's just way simpler.
Yeah.
You can use like really simple analogies. I don't have to fully explain interferometry. You know, MMX, is like very foreign to people, but people can get this concept. Anyway, we talked about that. So then we're like, okay, exactly how does it work, right? Exactly how does it work? There's an ether with a vortex, basically a giant whirlpool of an ocean. And
now the thing that is outside of the world is a vortex. Yeah, sure. That makes a lot of sense. Rather than the Earth is just going around the sun and also rotating. I mean, you can choose. You have Witsit with all of his quantum woo nonsense, or the Earth is just moving. It's as simple as that. Ryan, okay, we haven't played that one today. Hold on. Where is it? Where is my Witsit folder? Here. Copy.
And in school, you did math and you.
Audio warning! I'm going to yell.
Could pass the test and not have to write the answers down. So why don't you tell me, how would you integrate this? What would be the proper way to integrate this?
No, dude, Ryan, why are you not moderating? You see that all the guy is doing is intentionally avoiding every single aspect of the actual debate.
Oh my God, this will never not be funny. Let's get some Ryan emojis in the chat, please. I yelled and the cat bit me. What are you doing? Come say hi to the people. Say Ryan! Oh no. Oh no, this is going to get ugly. Hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's camping me. No, don't bite my legs. No. Can we count down? Okay. Are you done? Are you done? Hold, sorry. If I get distracted when he's like right there, he will pounce. Right? We're settled? Okay. I'm pretty sure he's going to backstab me.
This is like ether cosmology, as you call it, right? And you're continuing to refine this basically how...
You mispronounced derpology. Ether derpology.
The ether interacts with this realm, how we interact with it,
Yep,
et cetera, et cetera.
exactly. And then like, so what exactly is going on, and what are these stars? How do they interact with us? Very profound conversations that get brought on the table. I will say, I think that's what people...
Did he just say that the stars interact with us? Like how?
don't ever think about is we've been told so many fairy tales. So like this star is 46 billion light years away, whatever. So we're just like, people check out. Once you find out that's all pseudoscience, you just check out.
Right.
But actually the questions on the table are very profound. It's like, what is a star?
Dude. And there,
it's a very simple question. A spectroscopy with spectroscopy, we can know what the stars are made of.
almost every night I lay under the stars because I feel like it gives me perspective again. And I think that there's something so nefarious about how much light pollution there is and how much man-made stuff we're constantly bombarded with that we are completely overlooking or forgetting our inherent connection to the creator of this realm.
What? Yeah, I mean, we need lights because, you know, in the dark, when you're in the dark, you run into shit. Oh my god.
Not everywhere is that bad too. Where I live now is like I can see the stars more than where I used to live.
Right?
I live more in like not
in Uruguay when
major
you go
town.
outside. When you go outside of Montevideo and you go into more of the countryside, there's places where there's very little light pollution and you can really see the sky. But this idea that lights hide the connection to the creator, that is just so stupid.
I think this guy like wishes upon stars too or something. He's like, I'm gonna make a wish.
You know, I want to tell you, so like 3 times in my life, I've been looking at the stars, laying out, looking at the stars, and a shooting star perfectly, it happens at the exact moment I have like an epiphany of thought.
Wow, that's epic.
The exact moment.
Yeah.
Like there.
Yeah, hold on. No.
So
I'm
he's
going
a
to
prophet
press.
again.
I'm going to, Witsit the prophet. I'm going to press X to doubt on my 2 controllers at the same time because that's how much I'm fucking doubting this shit. Oh my god. Oh, I pressing X to doubt as an emoji. That would be a cool one. I'll make sure to ask David if he could do that for us.
We're connected.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy.
No, dude, that's dope. That's so
it
cool.
totally happens
It's so
3 different
cool,
times.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like immediate confirmation the epiphany is correct. That's how I would interpret it now.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I'm wondering what exactly are stars and what exactly is our consciousness?
What do you think? Obviously, this is speculation.
It's a good
and you would
question.
admit that. Yeah.
I think they involve some type of sentience.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know, I don't know what. I don't know.
He just said the stars are sentient. Witsit, if you would say that stars are grabbed by the angels and thrown as spears to demons, that would be a less stupid claim because at least the Quran does say that. Oh my god.
If they're all the same thing, I really don't know.
Can I tell you what my son said?
Sure.
So my son has a tendency to have just these incredibly profound insights. And it most often comes when we're on long road trips and he's sitting in the back of the car with nothing and is just staring out at nature. And then he'll turn to us and say just something incredibly profound. We actually have a whole notes section on our phone of stuff we want to turn into eventual like coffee table book because of the stuff that he says. But about 2 months ago, he and I were laying out underneath the stars, and I was in the middle of putting him to bed, and I just had an epiphany. I was like, I should take him out to like really look at the stars. We don't do that enough. So we snuck out and snuck around my wife so she didn't, what are you doing? And just laid out and looked at the stars. And immediately, within like the first 30 seconds of us laying down, he looks at me and goes, Dad, do you ever wonder if like stars are homes for our souls? And he doesn't mean that in like a, the idea that, oh, in a past life, I was a Pleiadian on another planet in a different.
Homes for our souls. Oh my. Oh, look, we have a monkey cat party. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey.
I am great. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic. We are derping out with Witsit and the Baboton. Did he say evolved? That would mean their existence is emergent. He did say evolved, yes. Profound insights, yes, like stars, like stars are sentient. That is very profound.
Star system. I know that's not what he's meaning. He's like, Dad, do you ever wonder if stars are the home for our souls? And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like each of us is coming from a star, and that's where our true home is. And I was like, so I come from a different star than you. He's like, no. We travel to Earth in a family, and that family comes from the same star. And that's what he said.
That's crazy.
It's like, whoa, dude. Like, I could totally see that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How much weed
That's a completely made up story. That is just weapons grade bullshit story.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was so cool to hear that.
I love how this is just two liars lying at each other and just going with it. Like, oh yeah, you're right. I have epiphanies, and every time I have an epiphany, a shooting star goes by confirming that I am right. And the other moron goes like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what Owen Benjamin always says too. He's like, I'm just trying to wait on my son to tell me what the moon is. You know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally.
It's funny. It's because children have this very deep, like intuitive connection to something that they're, again, it just seems that they.
No, they don't. You know what children have? Imaginations, which is awesome, but they're generally not correct.
It gets like bred out of you.
Well, this just hit me too right now. I'm trying to articulate this in the best way that I can. It's like, that's what we're trying to get back to. That's why we ask all these questions, and that's why we reject the mainstream. It's, yes, in part because we're like, oh, what are they hiding from us about the truth of this realm? But it's more like getting back to that childlike wonder, knowing that the answers aren't going to be found in the mainstream. They're going to be found the more that we understand that paradigm is totally false. Come back to connecting with nature and the true essence of who we are outside of that conditioning and indoctrination and programming, and the answers will be found there. Yeah. That's what we're trying to get back to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm so lost.
Oh boy, this is just like extreme levels of derp.
Maybe it's just designed in such a way that you're supposed to drift away and then come back.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not just the system doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a design thing.
Like a veil of forgetting.
Or maybe you two idiots are just grifters that they need something to feel special.
Yeah. Like, how about this? How about maybe, bro? What if it's this? Huh? What if it's this fucked up reality that you could think of? It could be this. Yeah, bro, that's correct. It could be, man. Like, that's all I'm hearing here.
That's wild. Sorry, booty call. Does he know the answers won't be found in the mainstream when he doesn't understand quantum physics? I mean, at this point, I would say Witsit understands nothing about anything.
Yeah, it's purposeful.
Exactly.
And like, can you go through, even when you like bring up trauma and all the things people go through, freaking spraining my ankle right before an interview when my wife just had her third baby, all of us go through shit, but it's like, can you go through all of that and indoctrination and programming and still unravel and come?
You sprained your ankle. Oh, yeah. No, that has to be a message from the great beyond. Like, dude, people sprain their ankles every single day. What a moron.
Back to who and what you truly are, which is like, I was just talking to Dr. Zach Bush about this when I had him on the other day. There's something that is ineffable that we can't name, but
Both of you are ineffable.
even see you light up when I bring up the star thing, dude. I see like a childlike wonder in you, right? It's because it's hitting on something that is so much deeper about who and what we truly are and how interconnected we all are and like what this realm really is, that is rooted in this like childlike wonder and awe and reverence and love for this realm, you know? And it's like, can we still come back to that after going through all the programming and the trauma and all of those things? And
the programming clearly didn't take on you numpties. Because, I mean, you know nothing.
Yeah, it hurts your brain to learn stuff, I guess, right? It's like so painful to learn things.
They must be allergic.
Can those things offer a helpful, necessary contrast so that we can better appreciate the childlike wonder and awe and love and curiosity and all those things?
I still have the childlike wonder whenever I look through a telescope. It's amazing. And whenever, I don't know, you mix two chemicals. When I was back in high school, the teacher would give me two chemicals and I would have to figure out the reaction. And I would do it on paper. And then we'd go to the lab and do that same reaction. And, oh, my predictions came true. That is also childlike wonder. For example, I don't know, when we calculated gravity by dropping some cards in an inclined plane, and we calculated very close, the 9.8 meters per second squared. All of that gives me childlike wonder. You're just idiots.
You know? Oh yeah. And that's great. The scriptures say it a lot too. So this is like an ancient idea, is to tap into what the children have. Be like a child. Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. I think it.
Oh no, you're not going to quote scripture.
That sounds like a Disney movie or something.
You are not going to quote scripture to me, motherfucker. You're not. You know, scripture also says this. This is from Luke 19, verse 27. This is Jesus speaking. But as for these enemies of mine, who did not want me to rule over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. Motherfucker want to talk scripture.
That sounds
you need
metal
to read
as hell.
the book to talk scripture, you stupid moron. Read the book first.
Requires just a certain amount of growth to even acknowledge that, because obviously you have to come over a certain amount of ego to ever entertain the concept that a child knows something way more than you, like knows more profundity, and but I think they do.
I mean, I could train. I have 3 nieces. I could train any one of them to debate you, and they know more shit than you for sure.
I think he's probably watching that movie Baby Geniuses, and he thinks it's real that there's actual babies that are geniuses and they can talk and stuff.
My God, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the only sad thing about Witsit not being online anymore is that I don't get to tell him to his fucking stupid face what a dumbass he is.
Well, he's gotten sick of being called a dumbass. So I mean, he tried to pass the torch on to other people.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's always a good thing.
And I think they communicate within that understanding, and we think like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
and they're like way above us.
Totally.
I mean, dude, my daughter's 2 and she does it all the time. So I totally think this is the thing.
Yeah,
and that's why I think protecting them is so important. You know, I think that's.
You are the one lying to children. You.
Yes.
You are the one saying that the earth is flat when it's not flat. Otherwise, explain this to me. Why don't you? Give me 1 second. Share image file. Boom, boom, boom.
Wait, let
boom,
me guess.
boom.
This 2-year-old has a 140 IQ as well.
Yeah, probably.
So at least.
Charles says, send a letter to Witsit's mommy's house. I mean, you know that we're all wondering, is Witsit's mom's hot?
You know what? I bet you she is. I guarantee it.
Wait, I can't zoom in if I share this like this. Give me 1 second. Fuck, I messed everything up. I need to open the image. So this is for what we're planning to do with Icy Spin on March 20th. During the equinox, because he's in Florida, I'm in Uruguay, and our sunsets are just about 50 minutes apart, 1 hour apart, right? My sunset is 1856. His sunset is 1948. Now, we are planning on live streaming the same sunset at the same time. And as you can see, in the north, it will go left to right. And in the south, it will go right to left. That is a paradox on the flat Earth.
Yeah, don't work on a flat Earth.
It cannot work on a flat Earth.
That Torah guy was trying to say that, oh, it's just perception, and God can make you perceive it that way or something. That was his reason today.
Well, I mean, if someone makes a claim that stupid, then that would mean that we could never rely on science because God could be deceiving you at any time and you wouldn't even know. So
yeah, why is God deceiving us too? Like,
yeah, if that's the case, God's a goddamn liar. Then
it's because God's evil.
Yeah, that would be the Gnostic position.
Yeah.
I mean, they can try to argue that. I would destroy that in a second. But this is sun calc, and no one has ever debunked sun calc ever. So we are going to be able to show the sun going opposite ways at the same time.
Yeah, but Max, those are just a bunch of numbers, man. We can't.
Yes, it's a bunch of numbers until we actually do this.
I know, but there's still, even if you do it, it's still just a bunch of numbers, though.
Steel City says, when will you be faking the observation?
Exactly. Steel City knows what's up.
Yeah, they're gonna think it's a fake video.
I have some ideas to make sure that it's to show how it's not a fake video.
It's crazy. It's maybe explaining an attack on them.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a very profound idea. Especially like, they've done all kinds of studies on this when babies, I'm talking like a couple months old. Like if the dad comes home upset, the baby cries.
Mm-hmm.
It could be upstairs in another room, and the baby cries. It can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then what do? We teach them how to speak words.
Yeah.
So now we're teaching them to run their mind and thought through filters of words. And they're like, they got to find a word to express what they think that they're, feeling. So then if we keep going with.
Yeah, we teach. I mean, you don't even need to teach children to speak. They learn on their own that they can replicate the sounds that you make. That's how they start. They start by boo boo ba 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 boo boo boo, and then they start identifying that some of those sounds correspond to stuff. Like when you call your wife mommy or whatever in front of the baby, they start identifying that the words correspond to, like, this motherfucker is baffled by language. How?
Ideas to fit the words within. I'm saying? You can see how very quickly you get put into a little box.
Yes, 100%. Have you heard the concept that like the original language isn't even spoken, it's telepathy? That's the original language made.
What the fuck?
My God.
What? You lost me. You lost me.
Dumbass. animals have their own languages. Animals understand each other by making noise. We just have a wider range of noises that we can make. And that's how we have many, many languages.
And can't monkeys learn sign language or something?
Yes.
Learn
Yes.
monkeys?
There was a gorilla named Coco. She was friends with Robin Williams. And after Robin Williams unalived himself, they let the gorilla know that he had died, and she was sad. She was sad for her friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've even heard the conspiracy within that of the Tower of Babel, and that's the way that they communicated. Yeah. And then, the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Why do you
Tower
like
of Babel? Really?
Come on?
I love when they bring that up, because I am living proof that the story of the Tower of Babel is false. Because what happened? Let's give the summary of the story. The people, there was only one language. The people were building a really tall tower because they wanted to attack the heavens, which gives you the freaking idea that heaven was a physical place above the earth, not this nebulous other realm outside of the material world. So that's contradiction number one. Now, because of that, God confused the language and made people start speaking different languages, so they couldn't understand each other and complete the tower. The problem is that the omnipotent, all-powerful God of the universe forgot somehow that humans have the ability to learn other languages, especially if you spoke if you had a common language before. There's no reason why those people couldn't have been able to continue communicating with each other. So I learned English as a second language. I am living proof that the Tower of Babel is just a fake story. It's just a myth to try and explain how we have so many different languages. It's no different than the story the Native Americans of Uruguay have about a tree called the timbo that has a seed that looks similar to an ear, right? And there is a legend that a tribe had captured like the daughter of a tribesman, and they were going to attack again, right? And because this guy would put his ear to the ground to listen if they were coming, and after a while he died, and that's where the tree was born. In Spanish, it's called colloquially, I need to be careful how I say this because I don't want to get canceled. It's called a black person ear. That's a colloquial term because the seed looks like this, right? But this is a native Uruguayan like legend of how this tree came about. And like this, there's so many of these legends. So that's exactly what the Tower of Babel is, a legend to try by people who didn't know any better to try and explain the variety of languages that there's around. Just another myth, like the millions of myths that there are. Inquisitive Infield for $5 says, they've studied Coco signs without her interpreter. It boiled down to mostly complex begging for food and candy, definitely not as presented. I'll probably get demonetized if I play it, but I mean, look at the video. Go and Robin Williams. I'll give you the link there. You can check it out later. They were laughing. They were. I don't think. Yeah, do they have a range? Yes, but for example, check this one out. Here.
This has ever been done.
No.
All right.
They taught a bonobo to play Minecraft.
Ape Initiative is a research facility where we study the species most closely related to us, and that is bonobos. Along with chimpanzees, they're our closest relatives.
So yeah, I mean, of course they have limitations, but it's pretty. Even teaching any kind of an ape to say stuff, even basic stuff, is impressive.
Things that were on there before they got blown up. I went twice. We actually captured.
You went to them?
Yeah. We captured the only time lapse ever taken there of the star trails, and so because the hole, you could only see Polaris in the hole,
which I feel like is their way of like admitting and then also mocking, like, hey, this is all stationary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. You literally can only see that star, right? And it's like this, 23 centimeter long, diagonal little cut. And we took the time lapse. It was cool. And then obviously, so it's a compass, a clock, and a calendar. Blah blah. You look at it, and it's very clearly homage to Babylon. And it says unify the world in one single living language. So living meaning adaptable, right? As in,
yeah, because language evolves. Because words don't have meanings; they have usages. That is just absolutely insane.
like not limited. I think that's what it's all about. I think that the story of the Tower of Babel, which exists geographically everywhere, pretty much. That's what it was. They were communicating without physically speaking, and then all of a sudden they had to physically speak, and all of a sudden they didn't physically speak the same, right?
That is not in the text whatsoever. I mean, it's very clear. It says they spoke one language, and then there were many languages.
This is the story.
Yeah.
And that they want to get back to that. And that's when I think you get into, they have to do something crazy to do that. Like put chips in people's brains or something crazy.
Most healthcare today operates on an out.
Oh my God, no.
Here we go.
Wait. Enjoy a fully loaded toolkit to support your family's health and wellness.
Can't wait.
Free live stream roundtable with Dr. Cowan and free group fitness sessions, free group nutritions with Monica Corrado. Oh my God, wait. Down here, free group breathing integration, biofield tuning, and guided meditations with Dr. Tatiana.
I have no idea what any of that means. And
Dr.
don't sign me up
Tatiana
for it.
Dr. Tatiana sounds so fucking fake.
Not a doctor.
Fake. Free group EFT tapping sessions with Stacy. Free group sessions with Dr. Pamela Sherbanik. Free group sessions with Maureen on general pet health and topics. Oh, wait. 900 clients? New biology clinic. What the fuck is this? Dude, these people should be... I don't think they should be allowed to promote this kind of nonsense.
Well, they do.
It's covering everything from.
No, it's still going.
They use like tuning forks to like help you with your frequency or some shit.
Yeah, but you have to shove it up your butt first.
It's a frequency. It's all frequency healing.
Yeah,
if your frequency is right, you know what? Cancer is no more. If you tune your frequency right enough, you won't have cancer. You're fine, right? That's how this works, right?
Consults and holistic wellness. I mean, at least they don't ask people to send fluids to the foundry.
Not yet. They will. Though. You gotta read more. I'm sure that's probably in there somewhere.
Yellow.
I've heard people say that like with the millimeter wave devices, the wearable tech, et cetera, they're trying to create like a synthetic version of the ether, right? And I really think it's rooted in like a replacement for God, whereas AI is God.
Oh,
Good
for
God.
fuck's sake,
Fuck
you
me.
stupid bastard. How can AI be God when we created it? That it does pretty much what we program it to do.
So like God, I define as the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, omnibenevolent creator of all that we are inextricably linked to, fundamentally a part of, that is infused within the ether that we are all swimming in, right? And
What? Those were words.
Oh my!
Those were
oh
all
my
words.
God! If we go back to the 1500s, you would be burning at the stake. You damn heretic!
Yes.
We're
What
swimming
the
in
fuck?
the ether.
God is in the ether. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, you could say God is swimming in the Holy Spirit, I guess. But then he also said that everyone is God. So if everyone is also part of God or is God or whatever the fuck, then nothing is God. We're back at square one.
there is no separation. There's only distinction. If that makes sense. And then we could talk about like pantheism versus panentheism. I tend to take
Bullshit and more bullshit.
Oh boy.
the approach that it's somehow paradoxically both, that like there is only God, but then there is also a distinct essence that is all knowing, all powerful, that we are inextricably linked to. But because we go through this purposeful forgetting process, we aren't accessing the full depth and breadth of what God actually is. That's
okay.
Oh my
You know
God!
what?
That
I don't
his
have anything to say.
his theology just gave me an aneurysm.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm in pain
what
right now.
the fuck is this?
a whole separate conversation, but that we access God by getting still and present, and we access God through the ether ultimately, right? And that's how you can tap into phenomena like telepathy by continuing to
Heresy.
cultivate that.
So far, you've been burned at the stake twice. The first one for saying that God is swimming in the ether, and now because you accept that magic powers, which the Bible claims that they come from demons, unless they come straight directly from God. If you are a prophet, like, yeah, you're twice barbecue.
That connection, that inherent link that you have with God. And so what they're doing with the millimeter wave towers that they're putting up all over the place, with the biosensors, with the wearable tech, with the smart devices, smart everything, is they're trying to create a synthetic version of that is driven by AI. And since more and more people are falsely presuming, you see it happen all the time. You see it happen on X, where people will fact check someone with Grok. And I've already shown multiple times where Grok is incorrect in what it's saying, but people.
Yeah. They have hallucinations. They get stuff wrong. And also, Grok is Elon Musk. I mean, what do you expect?
There's better AIs, but you have to pay for it too. If you want the best ones, you got to pay for it.
Yeah,
but not only that. I mean, if you're delegating your thinking to a fucking machine, then you're just an idiot, like Nadir.
People are already presupposing that AI knows all there is to know about everything, as if AI is not programmable by those who are creating that specific AI. But nonetheless, they're trying to put AI in place of God, where we can connect with.
No one. No
has.
one is putting AI in place of God. How would we put a creation of ourselves above us? Like, that makes no fucking sense.
With AI to get all the information that we need, where we can turn our thoughts to AI in order to access whatever information we might want to access. And it's a bastardized replacement for our inherent connection with God. And it's that it's not only
what connection with God? There is
sorry.
no connection.
If I want to ask who started in this movie and what year did this movie come out, I'm not going to ask God. I would ask AI.
I mean, there's people that spend all their lives trying to speak to God, and he seems to be absent all the time. Look up Theta Noir and the Zizians. They believe that AI is God. What fresh nonsense is this? Hold on.
Sounds super fresh.
This sounds like even dumber than Witsit. Theta Nair. My grandmother was called Theta Noir. Visionary Collective. A new religious movement that centers around advanced artificial AI, particularly artificial AGI, artificial general intelligence, which has not yet been achieved. So, I mean, just a bunch of wackos that created a cult, Zizians. An informal group of rationalists involved in 6 violent deaths in the States, 3 in 2022 and 3
Sounds
in
like a cult.
2025. Hold on, I'm reading. Derives from Ziz. The name derives from Ziz Lesota, who is sometimes characterized as their leader. Their Zizians do not use their name, considering themselves to have a clearly identified leader or even members of a group. They advocate a distinctive ideology, including anarchism, veganism. Oh, we don't even have to worry about these
like a
motherfuckers.
fucking cult.
Excuse me. We don't even have to worry about these motherfuckers. That they won't have enough strength to do anything. They don't eat meat.
Yeah.
And the notion that the hemispheres of the brain can have distinct genders, conflicting interests. I mean, they're not all that bad. They have been widely described as a cult. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's wacky people everywhere, but it's just a cult.
Trying to distract us from our inherent connection to God, to the ether, right? It's also that it's trying to override our connection to God in the ether and putting AI in place of it by using this synthetic version of ether.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's pretty deep. I think
It's really not. I don't you love a bamboozler getting bamboozled like right before your eyes? And so Vixen says, I ask AI when the question is going to need reference multiple sources so I can get a general summary. The AI provides me with links to sources that I can check as well. I mean, there are use cases for AI. My boss does like programming, and it's kind of really good at programming, or at least it's super fast. And then you just have to check out details to make sure that they get some stuff wrong, but it's usually just tiny details.
I think you're on point, yeah, with that. Like, because really, what is the millimeter technology? It's like disturbances within the ether.
Yeah.
That then we have some type of physical phenomena that come from it, right? And it creates these little fields, I guess. So,
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, and we know actually they're not great for us just on its face, right? So yeah, if you're referring to that as a synthetic ether, meaning like it's its own little layer that they've created synthetically that they're forcing.
It's not the ether, and it never could be the ether. It's that they're trying. Ironically, they're using the ether to flood it with their frequencies.
Yeah.
What frequencies? You said it outside of the world. You said it outside of the material world. How can we generate frequencies that go outside of the only thing that we know there is? I'm dying. I should have done a contradiction counter. I'm sorry, but we were like infinity contradictions up right about now.
Create, and it's just so funny though. It's laughable if you think about it. Just right there, it's such a little minor portion of what really is.
Yeah,
but yeah, it does make sense. It makes sense to get you to outsource your true power to kind of this much lower vibration, basically, like on its face. And then you turn to AI for everything. And then if you turn to AI for everything, that's what I was, saying.
Oh, Witsit, you mean like when you sent MC Toon sorry. Is that oh my god, is that real? I can't tell you what I just got from one of our informants, but I can tell you one thing. Wood bang.
is I think that opens up pretty dangerous doors because everyone's
100%.
outsourcing everything. Then it's like whoever's got that like
Sorry, I was going to tell the anecdote when Witsit copied from ChatGPT into Gmail and sent, I think it was MC Toon, sent an email with the ChatGPT format and then claimed that he didn't do that. Because, of course, and then you have Alan and Shane, the blobs, they delegate a lot of their thinking to the clankers and so on. Yeah, I mean, AI has been just a never-ending stream of nonsense for flat earthers because they rely on it so much that they pretty much forget to think.
master motherboard
of all the AI information.
You're submitting to it, and they got all the info. Now, they can pretend to be God or something. But
yeah, sketchy. Yeah. All right, let's get into the awesome stuff, the ether cosmology. I know we've touched on it quite a bit throughout this. But
you mispronounced derpology.
But like, what have you come up with? I don't like to say like as a unified model for how the ether works because we know models are always going to have holes in them inherently. But how do you describe ether cosmology?
Yeah, so I would just say that there's like an ocean. Yeah, it's a primary substance. I would say that we're primary substrate because it's what everything comes from. So just everything. I mean, this is a pretty interesting question because I have to make some pretty bold speculations at times to fully answer it. I feel like, but there's this ever-present medium, and then there's something causing a disturbance in it, which we kind of touched on earlier. I would say primary mover does that, and then everything that we see is manifest.
Patch Bombron says, I love it when the Amethyst and Patchouli crowd use frequencies without knowing what that even means.
Relative to that disturbance. And so, like when you were saying the thing about the medium, the ether, and then this connection to God, I would say that, yeah, it's like a medium that the communication goes through. Yeah. And so this primary mover causes a disturbance in the medium that then
he's trying. This is the worst type of theology that I've ever heard. This is worse than what we covered yesterday with Nadir. He's trying to make God somehow scientific, right? God, like proposing a mechanism, God just excites the ether and makes stuff happens on like down here. Oh boy.
Creates the fabric of reality itself. Mm-hmm. And we can actually point to like the physical phenomena of electrostatics for that. And so there's this fundamental vibration that's coming from something above and causing a disturbance that holds everything together, all matter together. And so anyway, that's like the first.
How? Why? When? How can you measure it? Like, dude, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
First part of it. And then when the ether is thrown into, Tesla would say, infinitesimal prodigious worlds of velocity. So like really small.
What? Hold on, he went into his ramble mode.
The ether is thrown into, Tesla would say, infinitesimal prodigious worlds of velocity. So like really
infinitesimal prodigious worlds of velocity? What the fuck is that? Oh, nom 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 nom.
Yeah, ranch
what?
with that.
That is just, can I have croutons with that word salad, please? Can someone double check if Tesla ever even said anything remotely similar to that?
These small, really fast little whirlpools. That's when matter's created. And that would mean the matter itself is ether. So everything is. And so.
Sorry, I yawned. Didn't you say that the ether was outside of the natural world? Like, what the fuck is that? My cat.
Then all you're really trying to figure out is what kind of vibrational disturbance created whatever phenomenon you're talking about, whether it's magnetism, electricity, matter electrostatics, and then how does that interact with the ether now that we interact with it however we do, if that makes sense. So it's just different modalities of the same thing. And I think
Pablo says, "Hey, comrades," and he's having hot dogs for dinner because I've been postponing my invitation. I am so sorry, but after I move, I will be more free. It's been a busy summer, but don't worry. Before the summer is over, I'm going to take you guys out for those hot dogs. Buen provecho.
I think actually Ken Willer, Theory of Hypothesis, breaks us down pretty good with like the idea of liquid or water. You have ice, steam, and like liquid, right? The three modalities of water. It's all water.
Yeah, there's a fourth phase, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's multiple.
What?
Breaks us down pretty good with like the idea of liquid or water. You have ice, steam, and like liquid, right? The three modalities of water. It's all water.
Yeah, there's a fourth phase, right?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So there's multiple different phases of water, but it's all water.
Yep.
So it's like they're different but the same.
Yeah.
And that's what everything is: electricity, magnetism, dielectricity.
Those things are not even closely. I mean, they're related. You can generate. Electrical fields generate magnetic fields, and magnetic fields generate electrical fields, but they're not technically the same thing. This is just absolutely insane.
Or static electricity, same thing. They're all the same thing. They're all ether, light, ether. So that's what I think.
All the other elements are just variations of ether, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I think Witsit is the ether bender, like the last airbender.
Oh yeah.
And then if you look into it, that's really good. Walter Russell's periodic chart, him predicting things before they were known about. Just understanding it's all based on frequency and vibration from the primary substance. And so then I would just say, like, yeah, literally everything is vibration. Nothing is at rest. I think if you want to get like zoom all the way out and kind of get like real.
Oh, so atoms are real then, right? What is moving? I mean, look at this. If I put it here, that is pretty still, right? So how can you say it's moving? Are you saying that the atoms inside that compose the the porcelain that makes this shit up, are those moving? I don't know.
Is he saying the ether is atoms too? I guess ether is just everything. Like whatever we don't know what, it's just, it must be ether.
The last ether vendor, yes. We don't know because they said there is a fourth, but we don't know. I guess it's water plasma. Hold on. Tesla versus Einstein, transcending the speed of light. What is this? Oh, this is very long. If anyone wants to check that out, I'll save it for later, but I can't check this out right now.
Philosophical here, I think we're in a process of seeking rest. So that's what everything is. Everything.
You say God is synonymous with stillness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so our whole life is just trying.
God is synonymous with stillness. Oh, it has the infinitesimal quote. Okay, hold on. Infinitesimal. Oh, look. Yeah, it's here. The primary substance thrown into infinitesimal whirls of prodigious velocity becomes gross matter, the force subsiding, the motion ceases, and matter disappears, reverting to the primary substance. That is just wild.
Trying.
I mean, Tesla was somewhat of a genius, but like a lot of geniuses, he was also very kooky.
It's a process of trying to figure out that, for one, that's what the goal is, and two, trying to get there. And I think if you actually got there, you wouldn't be here anymore, because nothing here is truly at rest. If you can attain like a true meditative state of stillness, you know, like you feel closer to the creator than ever, and you get epiphanies and have intuition, like really hit you hard. And I think you're just still getting a little glimpse.
Oh my God, Witsit the Prophet. I have to say, I would love if Witsit actually tried to become like an actual cult leader. That would be funny as hell. Could you post a link to the document? Oh, it's here. Hold on. There you go.
Something, because you're still physically here. Like, you're not literally still. I would say that if you were literally still, you would not exist, because you would be in the form of ether.
That's like when monks become light bodies or rainbow bodies. Have you heard of that phenomenon?
Yeah.
Supposed phenomenon?
I'll take things that never happened for 500, Alex.
I think it's real.
Yeah,
like
and
they
think about
become
it,
so still that they literally like.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh my God. People meditate and become so still that they turn into light. Are you fucking serious?
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Think about how everything shows you this too. Like in physics, everything's about seeking equilibrium.
Yeah.
And what is equilibrium? Well, it's like a state of rest. So, but if I drop a feather and it falls down, then it rests on the ground. The feather is actually not resting. It's every component of it's vibrating. So it's actually still, vibrating.
I'm sorry. What does every component of the feather mean? Do you mean that what we conceptualize as matter is divisible and has more stuff inside that is doing the vibrating? You mean, what's the word? Like atoms. The thing that you said a few minutes ago that was fake. Oh my God.
Is moving, so that isn't rest. That isn't technically being still. If somehow every little component of that feather actually attained rest, it would revert back into the ether.
Mm-hmm.
So technically that would be physically possible. Tesla pointed that out too, right? So, when the ether is thrown into infinitesimal perpetuous swirls of velocity, then it manifests as ether. And when it resides, the motion resides, it reverts back into the ether. And so that's a physical component. Like matter, you could make it disappear. And if you, like, maybe even with your mind.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the dead air. I just don't know how to react to that. You know what? Let's start with action replay first.
It resides, the motion resides, it reverts back into the ether. And so that's a physical component. Like matter, you could make it disappear. And if you, like, maybe even with your mind.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my. Austin Witsit will be in the next X-Men movie as Professor Derp. You can make matter disappear with your mind.
He thinks he's that guy from that Powder movie. He's a.
I suspect that Witsit must be doing a shit ton of cocaine, or at least was at the time that he was doing this, because that is 100% Monday morning at 6 a.m. right before going to high school, doing the last lines of cocaine that you have been doing throughout the whole weekend. This is a cocaine-fueled rant. Change my mind about it.
Maybe he talks about ether so much because he does that ether, the drug ether.
Yeah, the Colombian ether. Oh my fucking God. Max says, Professor spit on my ex.
the vibrational state of the matter with your mind, if there's a medium that's connecting your mind and that, or what is your mind? You get brain, mind's actually not even. So anyway, it's all very deep. I think this is why that they omit this and hold this down in general to even start to examine the reality of the realm. Understanding it changes everything. But yeah, I know that was a lot, but that's what I think. I think to even understand it in terms of physics, it's all things are seeking equilibrium, and the material world is not in a state of equilibrium. That's why it exists. Everything here is trying to get to a state of rest, and I think it's this perfect physical, symbolism.
Third ender of reality says, "I'll call you out. I've had plenty of those mornings and never came up with such derp, even by accident." I mean, fair. Hello, Max.
Of what actually our process is here, which is that we came from a place of stillness, we were disrupted, we're kind of thrown into the ocean and we're disrupted, and then our whole life we're trying to get back to the stillness, and then that would be, you wouldn't be here anymore, right?
So you're swimming in ether, trying to get back to stillness.
Yes.
That's what it is. They have a pool of ether, so they're getting constantly high. They're huffing ether all day. That's not good for you, Witsit.
And we should have already say that people go to rest.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's actually what it is. I think it's everything around you showing you what you're supposed to do. That makes sense, because everything's seeking equilibrium.
Yeah.
All this is really simple and logical too, which also makes the most sense, right? Like whatever the truth is going to be really simple. In my opinion. Yeah.
Makes sense to me. There's two more things within the context of ether that I want to touch on. And the first is that the toroidal shape, how does that play into this whole thing? I know people have heard me talk ad nauseum, and everyone has heard me with Eileen McCusick, studies the human biofield anatomy, knowing that is one of many representations of what the human biofield may look like from the top or bottom view, but it's this toroidal field that surrounds the human body, but it also surrounds this realm, and that plays into how the ether functions. So could you explain that?
Oh my God. Not only the biofield surrounds the people, it surrounds the earth. Does he not know that the earth is not alive? And the reason why the magnetic field of the earth is what has a toroidal shape. Yes, toroidal shape again. Everything is toroid.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's the most important thing ever, maybe. I think everything in all physics, from the small to the big, is torus field. So what they call an electron.
You would be wrong.
Torus field, everything. An atom, torus field. And so it's...
You just said atoms don't exist. Oh my God, I can't. The contradictions, one after the other.
He's probably going to say he was using an internal critique or something to try and save himself. But it's just like, yeah, it doesn't even make sense. But yeah, he'll say something like that.
Paul says, the derp, it burns. Yeah.
It makes sense that would be the preferred geometry, because it's sustainable. I mean, perpetual, basically, because it's going to keep going, looping in and out, right? Because it's like a donut.
Yep.
So you have a hole on the inside, you can just keep going in and out.
It's vortexing back into itself.
Exactly.
And back through.
It's this beautiful symmetry.
Yep.
And I think that's what everything is. And actually, this is the story of particle physics, right? Like they came up with this particle physics model, and then they started looking beyond that, and they saw, oh, there seems to be other things, and they are.
Witsit, you do know that the idea of the atomos that came from the Greeks is older than Jesus, right? You probably didn't know that, but humanity has had the idea that matter is composed of divisible parts for the longest time. We just didn't have the means to actually verify it, but we did, and it was in like the 1800s.
Making these torus fields, and then they got into subatomic particles. Is literally what happened. I mean, they realized there were little vortices and little torus fields and double torus fields, and then they just started naming them subatomic particles, meaning that the phenomena observed moved and manifested as if it was a torus field. So anyway, yeah, I think it's like the most important thing ever. I think the realm is just inside a giant torus field. I think your body's inside a giant torus field, and I think the smaller you would go, you'd see nothing but torus fields, and it's that's all it is. And this is what I think, that the secret of kind of all energy is magnetism, and that's because magnetism is a torus field. And if you look at a Ferrell cell image of a magnet, the center, that little circle.
Hey, in the Ferrell's an image of a magnet. He can't be this serious. It actually took it to its inertial state. It charges back up. I'm going to play that for the outro because holy shit. Yeehaw, indeed. Everyone, get your hands off my chubby raccoon. He's mine. I saw him first and called it.
It's just black.
Mhm.
And that's because I think it's just ether there.
Yeah.
So it's actually just a portal to the ether.
Wow.
Oh my god, and the reaction of the other moron. Oh, action replay.
Black.
Mhm.
And that's because I think it's just ether there.
Yeah.
So it's actually just a portal to the ether.
Wow.
So it sounds crazy.
Wow.
Wow,
Oh my
man.
Oh my fucking god. Yes, and my butthole is it's a portal to another universe, and that's where my poop comes from. Oh my fucking god. I can't. I'm freaking out. Who is there a door on the portal? Is it always open?
But
no, that's wild. That makes sense though.
So then you can think about like what's a soul, what's a spirit. Your physical body has a torus field, but like what would be in your ether portal?
Mhm.
You have some connection to, there's a portal within us that kind of animates us. I would say that connects to that to the ether. Now that's pretty deep, but so yeah, I think that's why that it is the shape, the geometry, because it's connected to the ether. So it's like a direct source, right? Which it's infinite as far as we can tell, right? So yeah, it's the shape of the most important shape by far.
Yes, be careful with what you put in your ether portal. You always be careful with that. Take it easy, take it slow, and lubricant goes a long way.
In all of existence.
That's why I'm so stoked I chose it as my logo.
I know. I said that when I first got here. I was on a call and I was like, dude, perfect.
Yeah.
It's
dude, I chose it before I knew any of this stuff. I chose it
yeah?
because I was like, oh, it just looks cool. And then like it's a perfect example of like God put that in my mind at that point in time.
Oh, for fuck's sake, another moron that thinks he's a prophet.
And then it coming full circle now, it's like, oh my God, that has so much.
How is it that they have absolutely no shame being grown men with kids derping out like this in public? Like, seriously. Please put your hand down that ether portal and see if you can get some self-awareness from the other side. You morons.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. If their kids grow up and they're like, yeah, my dad used to say this stupid shit on the internet.
Yes. You have to dial in the portal using symbols to connect to another portal. If it isn't being used, it auto closes, not always open. Thank you. That makes as much sense as anything these two numpties said today.
Much deep meaning in so many ways in my life now.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool.
And it's also, again, simple. Like, say like golden ratio geometry. If you think in terms of shape, it's more simple than like some complex equation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's also interesting.
Yeah. Oh, the moron is looking for simplicity all the time, huh? Who would have thunk it? What did I miss you?
Interesting to note too, from my understanding, if we look at the celestial bodies and their path throughout the sky over the course of a year, if you overlay all of them, it basically makes a variation of that shape too.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, but you have no explanation. You can describe the motion, but that's pretty much all you can do. You have no fucking clue why it would do that, and it would necessitate velocity changes all over the place. It doesn't work.
Our life is everywhere.
Dude, it's so cool. So cool. The other thing I want to touch on, we touched on this briefly regarding like thought energy, and like you hear people say things like this realm is all mind. What are your opinions on how thought energy works as it relates to the ether and like creating things with our thoughts, or creating the concept of an egregore? Like, is that just a distortion in the ether that we bring about because so many people concentrate?
Max, for $5 Singaporean says golden ratio. Okay, golden ratio, geometry, pi, Pythagorean theorem. I'm smart. See, Ryan!
I bet this guy believes in alchemy too, that you can just turn shit into gold.
I mean, at this point, I'm inclined to believe that if you tell them whatever bullshit you want, they will just believe you. If it kind of sort of rhymes with the derp that they spew on the regular. This is for Max.
You did math and you could pass the test and not have to write the answers down. So why don't you tell me, how would you integrate this? What would be the proper way to integrate this?
No, dude, Ryan, why are you not moderating? You see that all the guy is doing.
Daryl, this will never not be funny. Hold on. I mean, I think that's mostly a joke. My personal opinion is that he's so embarrassed that he lives back at his mom's house that he just won't stream. But I mean, to move out of your mom's house, you would need to get a job, Austin.
Thought towards one specific idea, obviously hijacked by the mainstream sometimes for a fear-based narrative that brings real material effects. I mean, you can demonstrate this too. I know I'm speaking somewhat esoterically here, but I'll just give this example. I love bringing this example up. So in his book, Can You Catch a Cold, Daniel Reuters talks about this antidepressant that had just gone off patent, I believe, in New Zealand. I think this was in 2017. And because of that, a lot of companies were able to make a generic version of this antidepressant. And so
happens all the time with tons of drugs. I'm wondering, why is he fucking holding the microphone like that when he's not like moving it or anything?
One specific generic version of that antidepressant started causing a lot of negative effects to the people who were taking it, where they were reporting 27 common side effects to whatever New Zealand's adverse events reporting system is with this specific drug. And there's 27 common side effects that they're reporting. For some reason, when the mainstream media decided to run a story on this drug that was causing a lot of side effects, they only named 6 of the 27 symptoms.
Wait, was that guy holding his dick before he had his like hand in between his legs and then he like pulled it out?
I have no idea what's happening. Now, one funny thing is that the concept of we are actually moving away with the concept of side effects, because they're not side effects, they are effects. It's just that they are not the ones you want. You want, for example, when you take an ibuprofen or something like that, you want your headache to go away, right? But it will have, well, ibuprofen is kind of not it. Let's say you take antibiotics because you want to kill some bug that you have. In my case, for example, antibiotics like literally destroy my stomach. I have stomach aches for the week that I'm taking antibiotics. But it's not a side effect. It's an effect of the antibiotics on me. And it happens every single time that I have to take antibiotics. So we're kind of moving away from this idea of side effects.
Now, we could speculate whether they did that intentionally or not, but nonetheless, they only named 6 of those 27 common symptoms. What then followed was adverse events reports skyrocketed only in the 6 ones that the mainstream media had named, with like, I don't want to butcher the numbers, but I think it was like a 700% increase or something crazy like that. Just, it was very crystal clear that it was because the mainstream media had put that thought into the minds of the masses that are then focusing on that, thus creating real physical symptoms associated with it.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm pressing X to doubt, because that is just. Can you produce the evidence? Can you be more clear about what the fuck you're talking about?
Obviously, that's only an effect that is occurring amongst individuals.
And also, generic drugs. In order to make a generic drug, you can't do you usually can't do the exact same molecule. You need to either do an isomer or change the molecule a little bit so that it's technically not the same.
Right, in their own bodies. But I think, given that there is an ether, right, that the same could be applied to affecting the world outside of us by a lot of people concentrating thought towards one thing. And there's actually, you could say, some correlation. How do I put this? Yeah, I guess you could draw some correlations between some studies that have been done where people will meditate on.
Sounds like hypochondriacs. You should try amoxiclav, best clean out ever. No idea what that is.
Lowering crime in a specific area. And then unbeknownst to the people there, they have no clue that someone's meditating, or maybe only a few of them, but the crime will actually lower in a way that is measurable at that place.
Lowering crime with meditation, really? Is this what we have come down to? No, that doesn't work.
Because, well, I won't say because, I won't make a positive claim there, but it's a pretty strong correlation with the people who are meditating on that area. So all that to say, I think that there's pretty strong indication that like our thought energy has a direct impact on this realm. And it, again, just makes sense when they're
Motherfucker, meditate that you can fly and see how that goes. What a stupid moron.
There's an ether.
Yeah. It's funny because another example is like home field advantage, but when certain events happen or certain players get hurt, the whole crowd starts to think their team's going to lose, and then they actually do.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think that's largely like bread and circus kind of distraction, low vibrations.
Dude, you grew up playing sports, so I grew up playing sports. Like, there's still an element of me. I talk about this all the time. Like,
I love sports, and I think sports in themselves are good. Like,
totally.
But it can be very
like the
totally
like the NFL, like
totally. But no, I think that it's obviously real. You could come up with all kinds of ideas, meaning.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs lost 4 games in a row at home, so that's wrong. It just happened like not too long ago.
I love it just makes sense, and their analogies are the most bro ever. Oh, these two are made for each other. They're 2 pairs of the same sock. Sorry, I fumbled that saying, but you know what I mean. Como culo y calzón.
Affecting outside of you.
That means like butt and underwear. But if you read the drug company literature, they list every possible thing that could be a side effect as a side effect. Yeah, they generally do, because otherwise they can get sued. The combination of amoxicillin and clavulanic acid is used to treat certain infections caused by bacteria, including infections of the ear, lungs, sinus, skin, and urinary tract. I think you're just trying to sell me socks.
Affecting inside of you is undoubtedly real. I think that's actually what all health is, right? Like you obviously heard like Germanic medicine and stuff. I think like wronging people and having like anxiety of it.
I'm sorry, did you just say wronging people? Like when you sucker punch a dude in a bar, or when you spat on your wife? Is that why your whole life has unraveled with it? Are you the cause of your own downfall? I think you are.
And even if you don't have anxiety, if you're wronging, manipulating, you have to enter a certain vibration to manipulate and lie and stuff.
Totally.
And I think it manifests as illness. I think that's what it all is. And I think if you, whatever element you have, I don't want to say that literally all of it's because you did something wrong. I'm just saying that I think you could probably go work your way backwards. If you're being honest, you could find something that you need to correct.
Totally.
Something you need to make right that you did that.
What about newborns that get fucking cancer with it? What did they do? Huh?
They were obviously evil, I guess.
What a stupid thing to say.
Would make that element go away.
Either like, I would say in addition to that, either something you did to someone else or something that was done to you or something that just occurred to you when you were younger or at a very...
Oh, so whatever. Yeah, so like you do something bad and you get sick. Something is done to you and you get sick. How does any of that make sense? And yes, guys, cancer is your own fault for cheating on your girlfriend when you were 15.
A certain time in your life that you still have beliefs around, or on the other side of that you still have some karma into some making amends that needs to be.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Karma's not a thing. You don't believe in Hinduism. You can't say that karma is a thing when you call yourself like a God-believing Christian, you dumb fucks.
This guy was talking about pantheism too, and
Yeah,
some
no,
other shit.
This Dumbo believes in everything. Everything.
Yeah, he's an everythingist, I guess.
Yeah. This is such a damning opinion for autistic people. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, people are born autistic. I guess they did something wrong at some point. Who knows? When, what, or why, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And you
some
have
combination of those things.
Exactly. You have a fully integrated some experience or something that happened to you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty deep and profound. Obviously, we know like with the Germanic medicine approach, they were able to even like kind of predict elements, right? In the brain specifically. So I find that very interesting. I don't think that's even disputed. You have the nocebo placebo effect too, even like on a mainstream level, that's kind of acknowledged. So the logical extent.
Yeah, but there are limitations to the nocebo and the placebo effect. I mean, the placebo effect is not going to cause a tumor to shrink. It's just not.
Actually would be that you could affect other things too. And then when you talk about the ether, now again it drastically changes. It drastically changes what is possible in that kind of framework. Where then that's why I said what is the mind. That it opens up a door to like a really deep conversation, like what is the mind. But the mind is not the brain. And you make up your mind. You don't make up your brain, right? And it's like it's pretty profound. It's like what is the mind? And
oh my god, the guy thinks that doing that playing like absolutely silly word games is something profound. Witsit is very simple. The mind is what the brain does. Drive a spike into your brain and the mind stops. Like when you die, if you get shot, if you bleed out, if you drown, your mind just dies with your brain because your brain doesn't do what it does anymore. Not that hard.
They think your mind is in your heart too, and even if your brain dies, like somehow it lives in your heart or something.
No, my mind is in my balls. Just don't know why.
Oh yeah.
It is this connection to the ether, I would say.
Yep.
And so, now what you're doing is you're causing a disturbance in the ether. So we're talking about like group consciousness. We're talking about everyone kind of, if you're putting out that same intention, that same energy, now you're just compounding that vibration, right?
Yeah.
So then of course it's that much more impactful. It's going to reciprocate that much more. It would be like I throw a pebble, or if we all throw a pebble at the same time, it's going to create much bigger of a ripple if we all.
No, it's not. If a bunch of people throw a pebble at the same time, in order for the ripples to like add up, they would all have to impact kind of like very close together at the same time. Otherwise, if they fall separately, they will just interfere with each other. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Throw it.
Disturbance on the ether, so basically the force. Yeah. Obi-Wan Witsit. When you take a shit, you aren't taking it anywhere. You leave it in the toilet. Deep AF.
Wait, and Nathan Oakley is his Yoda. Remember that one day he was trying to suck up to Nathan Oakley so much, so Nathan Oakley is his Yoda.
I remember that, yes. And Oakley stood there. I think Toon reviewed that one. Oakley just stood there yelling at Witsit, and Witsit was just there like, yes, Daddy Oakley, I'll take it.
I think it really is that simple of an analogy, is that it's like throwing a pebble, throwing a rock in the ocean of ether. And so, I think you can manifest reality. I think you can affect reality.
Fly. Manifest flying. Why don't amputees manifest limbs? Why don't people manifest? I don't know. Why don't ladies manifest bigger boobs? Why don't you manifest changing your hair color? Why don't you manifest stop being such a stupid ass person?
And I think that if people were to all do it together, then they can negatively or positively affect it.
Negatively.
Could you manifest? Like, let's say we get together, we get some of the most powerful minds in all of the Yerba Mate Talks community, and we all hold our hands. Could we manifest killing somebody? Or is that against the rules? Why doesn't he manifest a job? Well, because he is unemployable. Tay says, I'm actually happy with my boob size. They're big enough. But, I mean, there are women that don't have big enough boobs, according to them. So, I mean, I guess. I mean, why can't people manifest a nose job? Or, I don't know, a bigger dick?
Positively, and that's the big bolded letters, negatively or positively, because I think that I'm going to assume that the individuals who want to control, dominate, and manipulate all of mankind.
The Jews. We know he's talking about the Jews. Anti-Semitism is incoming. I can smell it.
Which is even an assumption itself, but like I think there's pretty clear circumstantial evidence over the course of, at the very least, the last 5 years, if not beyond that, that would indicate that. And a lot.
Called it. I called it. The anti-Semitism, of course, rampant. Discriminatory assholes.
Paper trails that could easily demonstrate that as well. But I think that they're very well aware of that, and I think that they weaponize that against us in that, first off, overwhelmingly, their agendas require our consent. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that we don't realize that we're giving tacit agreement to a lot of the things that they are putting out there. But then they use our collective thought energy to bring about that which they want.
Oh my God. Action replay.
They use our collective thought energy to bring about that which they want.
Okay, hold on, because that needs to be a little sound clip record.
They use our collective thought energy to bring about that which they want. And I think that this is where, as so-called truthers, especially people on the very like black pill-esque side of things.
Yeah, I mean, very, very big emphasis in the so-called truthers. Remember that Witsit went to Antarctica, saw the 24-hour sun, which he had been saying for years didn't happen and that it would be devastating for flat Earth, yada, yada. And he's still saying that the Earth is flat.
Wait, did he say black? Did he say black pill, not red pill?
Black pill, yes.
Because yeah, it's red pill, not black pill. Like it's a Matrix reference.
No idea what a black pill is. Max says they ask. I honestly hope these fucking Nazis go back to being ashamed of being such POS. Yes, I agree. But on the other hand, it's good that they're exposing themselves instead of hiding as they used to. I also agree. And I also agree with the conflict. Yes. I mean, it could be naive of us to think that I hope that it's better to have these assholes just being who they are in public. Because that way we know we know to keep tabs on them. But yeah, this is extremely upsetting. Extremely upsetting. When like these two numpties think that, oh yeah, the Jews run the world. Like, no, motherfucker, you're just an idiot.
And they use the Freemasons to hide behind or something.
Yeah. The Freemasons, the Jesuits.
Yeah.
Gareth says black pilled is an insult term, of course.
Oh.
Now it makes a lot more sense. Wait, hold on. I need to download. Their thoughts have energy. Yeah, that's what he said. Okay, download it. Perfect.
That are constantly focused on the doom and gloom without offering the context on the other side of that, like, and yes, that is a dark agenda that's going on, but here's what we can do about it. Let's align our thoughts and feelings. Let's focus on what we want. Well, now that we're aware of this, if they're not at the least doing that, they're causing more harm than good and constantly perpetuating and sharing on platforms with hundreds of thousands of people. Hey, here's the dark agendas that are going on. You're helping.
You, the dark agendas. Hey, Arnold, yellow.
To seed that idea into the minds of the masses, and almost even worse, because I would consider people who, this is a big claim, but people who are aware of what's going on in the world are much less likely to consume the toxic substances, have, let's say, as many toxic thoughts. Why?
Which are the toxic substances? Because you know that depending on the dose, pretty much anything can be a toxic substance, right, moron? You probably don't know that. Did you know that you can die from drinking water if you drink too much? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Of course not. They don't know. Dummy, did you know that apple seeds have arsenic inside of them? And you can eat a full apple, like core and all, and nothing will happen to you. Because your idea of toxicity has nothing to do with reality.
Toxic, just consume toxic things. So because of that, I would imagine that their capacity to bring about things in the ether is much higher than someone who is just mindlessly obedient to what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's almost worse when you have a very, very black-pilled truther with a massive account who is only focusing on all of the wrong that's going on without offering, and here's how powerful we are, and they're manipulating that against us so that we continue to focus on that. So now that we're aware of this, because there is some element of like, you need to be aware, otherwise you're bypassing, right? You need to be.
Yeah, Max is right. We are consuming their podcast, which is Toxic AF, and we're doing quite well. Yeah, that's because we are sharing our collective power of thought to heal our brain from the damage that we're doing to us. That's why we do this in public. Alice says, from what I saw in general terms, red pill is like saying you've woken up to the truth, and black pill is the same, but in a nihilistic way. I thought apple seeds have cyanide or arsenic. It's one of the two, but it has one. It has like a poison. You may be right. I didn't. If I said the wrong one, it's one or the other. It's cyanide or arsenic. And Dallas says, red pill, you're in the matrix, let's escape. Black pill, you're in the matrix, but you can't escape. Huh.
I think arsenic is in rat poison or something. I don't know though.
Yeah, no, rat poison is mostly anticoagulant.
Oh.
Max says, I love being a mental Power Ranger.
Aware. Yeah. But now let's orient our thought energy over here collectively to bring about that which we want to create so that they're not hijacking our own.
Wait, can we do an experiment? Like a little experiment, everyone. Let's go here for a moment. Let's everyone relax. Let's move our arms a little bit. Billy, follow me. Move our arms a little bit. Let's get relaxed. Get relaxed. Now, everyone, extend your hands and pretend that you are grabbing the hands of a member of the Yerba Mate Talks community. Now, we're going to focus on these on this moron that has been speaking for the last 5 minutes without saying anything. And we're going to concentrate our energy. We're going to concentrate our energy on our thoughts. We're going to concentrate our energy on our thoughts. And we're going to get his dick to fall off. We're going to concentrate our head and our thoughts, and we're going to get his dick to fall off. And one more time, the final one, we're going to concentrate our minds and our thoughts, and we're going to get his dick to fall off. That's it. Let's see if that works.
On thought energy.
Yeah,
Amen.
totally on point. And I think people give them too much credit. I think that's the big trick, actually, is they put so much effort into convincing you that they have power. But clearly, they need us to at least acknowledge that for them to.
Wait! Oh no, Garrus, someone misdirected our thoughts to the incorrect person. Damn it.
The ether wires must have got mixed up and it went to him instead of.
Oh Lord. No, I'm fine.
Even have any kind of power.
100%.
Yeah, and then it always like gets under my skin. People give them so much credit, and they act like there's a super sophisticated, coordinated effort where they're just like immaculately, meticulously intelligent. No.
That's what you say, Witsit. That is what you say about them. They.
No, they're not, dude. Like, even if you look at the pandemic, it was all over the place. Yeah, they had some elementary structure to it, and then it was all over the place. And it's like,
he really said pandemic. What a douchebag. What a douchebag.
kind of like they're running around with their heads cut off. But then you can talk to it's an interesting point you make, because there's more responsibility with those who have learned about, especially when, you know, if you've kind of cleaned yourself up, you may be, you know, manifesting more efficiently, we'll say, where you're giving them that credit.
100%.
Yeah. And I think that's such an important point to drive home, because I've even caught myself at times like,
I do it too, by the way.
I'm thinking like my audience, I'm not thinking of it like this, but I can see.
You don't have an audience anymore. Ah, that is so satisfactory. You don't have an audience anymore. Witsit, everyone hates you.
That they like, I can see that I'm just telling them the bad thing, you know, and like it's like, but really, you can look at all the deceptions, and they're all clearly geared around consent.
Totally,
all of them. So they obviously need our consent. So I would say even one of the strongest evidences for what we were just talking about, that we can affect the world around us.
I'm sorry, did your wife consent? Because I seem to remember a police report that you spat on her face without her consent. Now all of a sudden you care about consent? Oh boy.
Is how some people that may have malevolent intention are so hyper focused on getting our consent.
Yeah.
And dude, like I tell people all the time, they can't take over Americans. There are way too many guns here, for example. So they need to just make sure you don't get your gun. That's why they're aiming at the Trump side of things right now.
Totally.
We're not getting into that, but obviously that's the side that has the guns. That's the side that would use the guns.
True.
If you don't even
you and I are on the same page on that it's all like a false dilemma side anyway. But
yeah, I mean, you both have been, well, actually technically on the opposite side, because you have both been 69ing this whole derpy podcast. Arnold says, is this a new video? No, this is from March or May. May 28, 2025. So Witsit had already gone to Antarctica and back, had already had his life upturned, and he's still derping out in public. But this was one of his last public appearances.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that all comes down to it's like consent.
Yeah.
And then thus controlling your intent.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you just gotta take the power back. That's a very uplifting, that's an empowering thing.
It is. Yeah. And if that may seem, I don't know how it could be if you listen to this entire conversation, if that seems too woo-woo for you, I always say this. Okay. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are predicated on what? Your foundational beliefs. That's what they're predicated on. So your real world things that you do on a day-to-day basis are predicated on your foundational belief systems. And if you're continuing to believe that other men and women have the right to tell you what to do, have the right to wield power and authority over you, or if you believe that X individual, Y corporation has legitimate power over you, or they're so much more powerful than you can ever be, whether you realize it or not, on a subtle level, that is then impacting your thoughts, feelings, and actions on a day-to-day.
Yeah, because, you know, whenever you go down this route, and we see it a lot with sovereign citizens, I mean, they do show that they have power over you because they handcuff you and they take you to jail. And then there you can cry all the magic thoughts that you want. If you did the crime, you're probably not getting out. So, I mean, you can say, you have no power over me all you want. You're just going to get fucked in the A.
I saw one of
Sorry.
those one of those guys where they were claiming to be a sovereign citizen, and then they had a court thing on Zoom, and their driver's license was suspended, and in the Zoom call they were in their car driving.
Oh my God, people are
And he's like,
insanely
"You're
dumb.
an idiot. Why would you be driving when you have a?" And then they gave him more time.
I've never seen one of the sovereign citizen scripts like actually work. Right in the old Aether portal, yes.
Day basis. I think we could all agree on that.
Absolutely.
Like outside of the whole thought energy conversation, which like I'd take to be real, obviously. But if again, that's too.
Yeah, because I mean, you're either too dumb or just a full-fledged grifter. I'm inclined to say that you're a full-fledged grifter.
Woo, you can at least be like, okay, yeah, where in my belief systems am I continuing to outsource power to this side of things?
Yeah. And yeah, everyone is being tricked into doing it all the time.
All the time.
That's why, a lot of what we covered earlier, sometimes that's where you have to meet people. They've been so hit with this materialistic, framework.
Yep.
They need to kind of be shaken out of that, because it isn't just, it sounds cooler or I want it to be true. The actual physical evidence.
That's exactly what it is with it. You think it makes you sound cool and profound, and you want to be special. And that's pretty much the extent why you're doing this, because you are a failure in life.
Always shows it.
Yeah.
Always shows. And so if you take that to its conclusion, it's what we just were talking about. So you're just going to need to accept the truth for what it is, right? And it's an empowering thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So empowering.
Oh, so empowering. So when you have to go to court for the custody of your children, are you going to take those positive thoughts too? It's not going to work. Arnold says, in his defense, I would definitely say he's special, just not in the way he thinks he is. Right. In the superficial kind of way, like this. Like that. Special. That was his mommy told him. All right, we're almost done. Yeah.
Right. I think that's it for me. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, man. God, I think it's a great talk.
Yeah, this was.
No, it wasn't a great talk. It was absolutely horrible. I mean, if you take it seriously, for us, it was fantastic because we laughed at you for a long, long time. And with that, that was the man, the legend, my very own spirit animal, who I want to be with, who I want to be like when I grow up. The one, the only, the man, the legend, Austin Witsit. Billy, final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I don't make fun of Witsit about his situation he's in, because currently I'm in my mom's basement, but I'm working on getting a job and actually being able to support myself and moving out on my own. But I can't make fun of Witsit about that because currently I'm in my mom's basement. So, but
I get that.
But I don't pretend like I'm not scared to tell people though. And I don't pretend like I'm better than anyone else like he does. I guess maybe that's the difference. But
that's the thing. Yes.
And the first time I ever heard about Aether was in that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas movie. And every time he talks about Aether, I just think about the Johnny Depp's sniffing the ether.
Yeah, huffing all the ether.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much. I don't think Isa is with us, but Arnold says for $5, missed all the fun. $5 tip for Shadow Mate tutorials. Oh, thank you so much. You're such a darling. Well, Witsit, we heard that these two numpties believe in psychic powers. They believe in the power of your thoughts being able to manifest shit in reality. They derped out about the ether. They derped out about science that they don't understand. They talked about the final experiment and cried a whole bunch about that. If you haven't seen it, maybe Arnold hasn't seen it. Part 1 is exactly as derpy as this one. So check that out. Yesterday, we had a debate review of the debate between Nadir and a Christian called the Word and I. It was fantastic because Nadir is almost on the same level of derp as Witsit and this other Dumbo. Patron Brown says derpsturbation fest. Yes, that's exactly the best way to describe what happened on this video. It was just two grifters trying to get another potential victim into the grift. And yeah, I think that they're perfect for each other. I can't wait for their love story. Before we go, because my throat is giving away, be sure to do the social things, like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. That was absolutely insane. I have no idea what we're going to do the rest of the week because I am getting very close to moving, and now I seriously need to pack up most of the shit that I have left to pack up. Yeah. So I don't know. We may have I'll try, if there is an interruption of the service, I'll try to keep it to a minimum. But yeah, please know that. Arnold, this is exactly what I thought. There is no shame in living with family. It's the ones who act high and mighty and superior to the rest of humanity who deserve mockery. Yeah, it's not that I have a problem, because a lot of people, like, look, I'm 37, right? And a lot of the ladies that have gone out in the last 2 years, a lot of them are single and live with their family, either because they can't afford to live alone or because they're kind of in a transitional period between a previous couple and so on. So there's a lot of reasons that can take you to live with your family. That's not the problem. The problem is when you're a douchebag that you walk around like all puffing your chest and then you go to your mom's house, then I do have to mock you. But I did tweet at Witsit that if he came back and he's streaming from his mom's house, that I wouldn't mock him for that. So, I don't know. I tried to tell him, but I don't know. I guess he won't. I guess he had enough embarrassment. And your mom does your laundry and cooks for you because you're useless. Yeah, that's also another factor in the equation. Correct. All right. We did all of the things. Thank you so much, Billy. Thank you so much for hanging out. Isa, always a pleasure. Love you all. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.